2, 1. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Free Spacer sector quadrant creation. I am Eric, your space master, your game master today, and I brought along 4 of my friends here to play this amazing game by Christoph. That's on Kickstarter right now. Definitely check it out. And yeah, so like we're gonna kind of get right into it. We're gonna get cracking. Everyone who's watching this, you're gonna be seeing this in a couple weeks because we're gonna have our first stream, and definitely watch the streams and stuff. So real quick, I'm Eric. I'm EricVulgaris everywhere. My pronouns are he or they. Let's just go around and just say who we are real quick. Let's go around in top. So in the top left, joining us is Adam. Tell us about yourself.
Hey, I've streamed with Eric before because he's a cool guy, and I do random other stuff online. But otherwise, I'm a pretty boring guy. I'm just interesting because of the stream. How about you, Alice?
Hi, I'm Alice, also known as Taffcat around the internet. I do streaming on twitch.tv/Taffcat. I've been on this channel like twice, I want to say. I also GM a Band of Blades game over on Ashton McGowan's channel. That's a CGAC. So like there. Also, I'm making a game called Kiss Before the World Ends.
Cool.
And I'm Gina Dazer, also known as the Posh Panda on Twitch. Dazer on most things that matter. And I have played Jungle Crawl Classics with Eric because he's a pretty good guy. I'm also designed Media Bones, which is a high improv genre slottable quick start RPG, which is a bunch of nonsense, and I love it.
Yeah.
And then I draw, and that's good.
I am Ben Dutter everywhere. I own Sigilstone Publishing, do a little bit of game design. That's how I met Eric, was through him running a Vagabonds one-shot. So if you want some strange PBTA OSR mashup stuff, go check out Vagabonds of Divid. And keep pumping out new stuff all the time, whether anybody wants it or not.
Awesome.
That's a mood.
Yeah. And then also joining us from behind the curtain is the designer, Christoph.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Just here to help out.
Yeah, so that's great. I've read the rules already, and I feel pretty comfortable, pretty confident in sort of doing this. But it's always nice to be able to consort with the designer at any point should something come up. That's great. And so, real quick, I'm just going to go a quick little like top down. Hey, what the heck are we doing here? Free Spacer is a sandbox RPG for all your science fiction needs. It bends towards your like Firefly, your dark matter. It's pretty like your Bebop. It lends itself more towards the harder side of sci-fi, which is super fun. It comes with a really cool custom engine for dice rolls. So if you're a mechanic nerd like me, there's a lot here that you'll find enjoyable. As well as you just like want to get into super cool rules and things for lore and running and everything. This is also just it's a fun game. It kind of has a lot of weight for it, which I've been kind of getting into lately. So I'm very excited to get started. So you can expect sort of straight up custom races, custom ships, and just defining your space sector that you're going to be exploring. All the factions, all the planets, all the systems, all of that stuff is in your control here. It's truly a fun, open science fiction sandbox experience. So let's get ready to dig in here. So the first thing, I guess, I know I've been talking a lot right now, but we're generally what we're doing here is that we're going to be exploring and developing what's called the Orion quadrant of space here. And in general, we're kind of in the wake of a Cold War between the various factions that are going on. The factions are kind of broken up into like various larger cliques as well as smaller ones, and we'll explore them in a little bit. So let's get ready to rumble, shall we? Okay, let's bring us over.
I think that's copyright, Eric. Let's get ready to rumble. Yeah.
Oh,
It's Space Rumble, so you have to say Sprumble.
That's right.
yeah, it is a sprumble. That
There
is
you
correct.
go. We're safe now. Whew.
Awesome. Okay, so we got everything kind of squared away in Roll20 now. So what we're going to have to start doing with here is kind of coming up a little bit of our societies, and then we're going to come up with what our ship is in this world, and then we're going to come up with our characters that inhabit them. And we've already been kind of talking a little bit about different ideas, but we left it open enough because I really wanted to capture the experience of creating everything live. So when you back this game and you get this awesome game, you can do it, right? I don't want you to lose out on that. So. Sure. So when we begin societies, I guess I should probably do more of the history thing as we jump in as well. I know I'm going to cast wall of text real quick to give you guys or wall of exposition or like. So for example, first off, there was sort of like the exploration wars, and this sort of devastated the quadrant in the past. So like before everything's exploded. There was kind of one unified the what's called the good old days. The at its core there was kind of one momentum faction called the Old Gold, because this I was just describing a little bit earlier how there's sort of like these umbrella kind of groups. Well, one of those groups is the Old Gold faction. They were and from there that kind of they were doing well until you had your 0 point technology, aka FTL, and all of a sudden things started not being so great for them. No longer their control was absolute. Like their power slipped through their Old Gold grasp, and that kind of resulted into sectorial problems, and that kind of led into the exploration wars. And since then, there's been alliances and shifts and changes. So when we come up with like alien races and stuff like that, they actually belong to they're going to be feeding into these other groups and societies. So yeah, once again, you had like this old war stuff, then you have sort of like let me describe the Cardinal Compact, which is sort of the after the war, and then how I'm leading up into the Cold War part. So like the Cardinal Compact was like the end of the exploration wars, right? So we had all these different groups all kind of fighting and vying for power, and nobody wanted this anymore. It was devastating, and so military action ceased. And then everyone kind of decided to take this deal because, hey, economics is better than bloodshed. So this is where you get some of these larger factions now. So between the Cardinal Compact, you have let me just bring this over to. I wonder if I can bring you over to the Roll20. Work. That's the society's page. I wonder if we can bring it to the sector. No, that also won't work. I'm trying to think of what would be the best page to show everybody all the different stuff. Christoph, what do you think would be the easiest way of describing all the other ones?
What do you mean all the other ones? You mean each of the societies? There's 3 societies.
Yeah.
And basically there's Old Gold, the Soul Society, and what we call the Lateral Society, and each of those are broken in different factions. On Roll20, I often put those 3 on the same page and kind of treat it as like a setting booklet.
See, that's super smart. So I'm just bringing us over to Space Notes. We'll do it over here.
Notes from space.
Boop. So do we want to flesh out what the Old Gold is first before we go into everyone else, or not? Or do we want to do like Old Gold, Soul, and Lateral? Do we want to like? I don't know. Let's just do a quick little synopsis of like all of them, right? So the first one is Old Gold. As we were explaining, they were like the core good times. Soul is humanity itself and all of their exploration attempts. And then last ones are the lateral societies, which are sort of like a culmination of various alien species and factions as well. So those are sort of like the 3 like general meta groups, I guess, or just groups. And then from there, we're going to be fleshing them out. So we have Old Gold, Soul, and our laterals. I like laterals. I don't know, lateral's a good word. That's good mouth feel, you know? Okay, so let's begin with I don't know which one. I'm tired of talking. How about someone else? Which one sounds really interesting that we should begin with?
Well, we can talk about who wanted to play non-human species. and how many of those, like ratio-wise. If there are more humans, we could talk about humans first. If there are more non-humans, we could talk about them first. Work it mathematically.
Sure.
Undecided.
So that's one for each. I was going to play an alien species.
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 Well, just so I
Space.
understand, right? Do we have to all? Do we all belong to the same society or the same like meta group of the three?
No. This is just our general world and populating our big old factions.
Just the historical long term.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much like so. There's always the framework of the exploration wars and the Cardinal Compact in this game, and then the ensuing Cold War afterwards. But what sort of components those three pieces of these giant societies are is what we create together. Okay.
Got it.
Right, and so. I know I feel like I didn't want to be super dictatorial after being dictatorial for the past 5 minutes, and so I was trying to leave it open if somebody else wanted to do. Let me let's talk about soul, or like let's talk about old gold or lateral societies
soul. Let's just do soul.
Okay.
Okay.
Decision made.
Cool. All right. Cool. So soul originates in the Orion quadrant. The old gold and lateral may not. It depends. How we want to do it. So let's see here. So we're doing the Orion. This is once again the Orion quadrant's kind of where we're going to be spending most of our time in the galaxy. So let's go ahead and come up with some either we can either kind of like roll or choose here as different things. So the first thing that the game kind of has you do. Okay, yeah, we could. Okay, so the first thing we do is kind of have an emergence effect, and so for every society there is a this is kind of the time when they ascend into the galactic community at large, and this event can vary drastically. So we could either roll or pick from different ones. How do we want to do it? And perhaps I should go over the 5 different ones, and then we can see if we want, and while I'm doing that we can determine whether or not we want to roll or pick.
Sure.
So the first one is archaeology. Archaeology is, this is the scholars in a society discovered an alien spacecraft, and they used it to reverse engineer FTL. The next one is invasion. So the Sol system was invaded by a greater power and kind of introduced all of these problems, or from FTL and experience, and then we kind of reverse engineer from there. We have a remnant. Remnant once kind of folded tech, and they were either cut off from their society, so like a vestige of another place kind of showed up as their car broke down kind of scenario. A sponsor, you have someone showed up and someone gave it to you via a treaty. As a little more formal and diplomatic than, hey, my car broke down, and reverse engineering. Or it's an independent ascension where we don't need the strength of another galactic civilization. We figured it out on our own.
I think I'm personally a fan of the 2 before independent, the remnant and the diplomacy one.
Yeah, I really like progenitor tech type stuff. And since we get to choose emergence for all 3 societies, I feel like we can at least do progenitor stuff for old gold. And I feel like sponsor might make more sense for soul.
Right.
I also like humans being very self-sufficient in kind of like a stubborn and almost self-destructive way. Like, I can do this on my own. How dare you? Other alien take
like
your
aliens
ship.
contacted us, and we just flipped them off from Earth.
Yeah, and we're like, you know what? Now that we know it's possible, we're actually going to try. We just weren't trying before. But
yeah, I like the independent ascension idea for humans, at least the most.
I think I've been sold on it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is why I bring it up, because like we could roll, but I feel like we all are really jiving on independent.
Yeah.
So
I love chaos, but the fact that the continued view of humans just being kind of like
stubborn.
Yeah.
Well, so did we discover it entirely independently, or did we find a crash landed alien ship and steal it from them?
Well, that's archaeology.
Yeah, that's not independent.
That's why I bring it up.
Maybe we discovered, like, we were visited by a planet who's like, hey, we have this offer. Do you want to be part of this? And we're like, no.
Yeah, I much like the idea of that, like either like someone visited or we just received a signal from outer space and we're like, oh, there are civilizations out there.
Yeah, like we had that confirmed, and then we were like, enemy from the stars. That's always what
so what we have now come around to is that all of them, like there's a lot of them that sound cool, so I should actually just roll. Right?
No. It's totally it's we're coming around to independent.
Yeah,
but
we just want to
independent for Soul is that Soul's independent tech is it's a little
spite based.
It's like, spite based.
So 0 point tech from Soul is just a little off from everybody else's 0 point tech where they got it from Old Gold.
Right. We use the imperial system instead of the galactic metric system.
Did we just make Space America?
Oh, I hope not. I really hope not. Okay.
I mean, at least the soul-controlled port of it, right? Like, there's other shit. But yeah.
All right. So I'm on them.
Old Gold is Space England. Laterals are Space Portugal or Space China or something.
Okay. So we are independent. Do we want to do all of these concurrently? Do we want to also figure out Old God and our lateral right now?
Yeah, that'll help us view them together.
Right, we can do this parallel. Okay.
So like Soul being independent, great. I feel like there are two ways I'm thinking of Old Gold. One being like them being sponsored, rather being like an older thing was like, we're gonna give you all technology, then we fuck off. Or them doing like archaeology or some form of like something like that, where it's like sort of the same kind of story, but like they actually had like, oh, some people crashed here billions of years ago, and we've re-engineered their stuff, like sort of taking up the mantle of an older civilization.
Right. So yeah. So
so that could be Remnant too, because Remnant is also a billion years ago. A version of our society before collapse had 0 point, and we just found and figured it out.
I like the idea of Old Gold discovering this old technology and trying to view it like there's a scene in Stargate, the movie, where he knows how to speak Egyptian. They just don't know what the vowels meant, so there was a lot of misinterpretation. Like Old Gold's view of what the precursors were for the artifact that they discovered could be wrong, but they got it just right enough to make it work. And then they're like, this is the thing now.
Right. So coming back to Old Gold. So the story of Old Gold is that they do consolidate and basically colonize the core, but they don't necessarily come from the core. And there's a chance to roll here. Alternatively, I can just I can describe the four of them and we could pick if any of them are like that one.
Could we say that Old Gold were the progenitors, and like, so they, not that necessarily that they uplifted it, but they discovered it so long ago that they might as well have invented it. Because I just like the idea of a still living society that's so old that they like even forgot their own history, because it's just, they've been around for 100 million years or whatever.
Sure. So it's not
just invent space elves.
Space elves. It's like I like that too. I just think like determining like saying what their true origin is, regardless of what they believe, is like, yeah, they discovered this, except they don't think they did anymore. They're we invented this shit.
Look, that's an entire campaign.
Yeah. Can we say that they believe that they're independent, but they're probably not?
Right. As far as their emergence setting. Yeah, I'm cool with that. But I need to back it up. I need to rewind just real quick because I want to do the origin story for them.
Sure.
Because they come from one of the parts of the world here. So there's 4 quadrants to be from. So once again, we're in the Orion part. But there are 3 other ones I wanted to talk about, right? There's the Athenium, which is the dark halo of the Milky Way. There is the Crimson, which is closer to the core. And then there's the Nobilis, which is on the opposite side of Sol. The far side.
Nobilis sounds rad.
Yeah.
Nobelius, the way it's also described, they talk about it ruled by an old aristocratic anocracy, the Nobelius duchies, and I feel like that's kind of the way we're going for old gold. Is
Right, but okay. So are we gonna do Nobelius?
Yes.
Are we cool with me pronouncing it Nobelius?
Sure. No
you can pronounce
bellies.
it however you want.
No
Okay.
no bellies in space.
No bellies. All right, so I'm just writing down our
In
key
space,
decisions.
everyone is ripped. There's stomachs, not
Exactly.
bellies.
That's right.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
if they're bigger, the abs on the outside somehow. It's just
Abs on abs on abs.
yeah. I just saw the latest Joffy video, and it's gonna be a couple weeks old by the time you get to it. But
Right.
mm,
So our old gold. So one more time, just so if that was the first part, the next part is that they are technically remnant, but they pretend to be independent.
Or yeah, exactly.
Right, which is perfect because there's a part here for the old gold about how they consolidate their power. So once the old gold gained a foothold across along the galaxy, they consolidate their dominance, and by they're doing that, their sort of like history and their lore propagates a lot of culture and media in general. So you guys were already like literally thinking about and doing this step here, right? So that's really funny. I'm super glad you did. So there's a couple ways to do like how they kind of consolidate their power and sort of like why is old gold so good? How did they conquer the and become the dominant cultural epicenter? There's actual war conquest, there's cultural influence, there's economic integration, there's political unions, there's religious conversions, or just tech dominance.
There's some good options here.
Yes.
So like I almost always would be like, oh, the annoying people in charge, religious dominance.
yeah, that's what I was
Like,
thinking too. But then the tech could be like, oh, they have this old tech, but also since they've lost and then refound it secretly, maybe they have like archaeological digs where the old tech is still much better than the tech we have now, and they
Yeah.
just keep like reinventing the microwave.
They're fucking Asari with the Protheans in Mass Effect. If anyone knows Mass Effect lore.
Yes,
Yeah.
that reference I get.
I mean, I'm cool with either of those. Those are my two leanings as well, either religious or tech.
Yeah, I think maybe this is going off the rails a little too much here, but I kind of like the idea that it's tech-based, but
Religious.
they're zealously founded because they view the historic technology that either they invented
God.
or bestowed upon is godly somehow. Or
Yeah.
Oh,
totally.
God, fucking God
The Covenant.
scientists.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah,
Zealot
like-
research
scientist
scientists.
popes.
Everything
Yeah,
is
cool.
justified in the light of God.
Right.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's awful.
So it's
I love it.
right. So it's tech dominance because they were the first ones to find this ancient legacy, even more ancient than them, and through that they have done a little bit of everything else, but all under the guise of this religious theocracy, or at least this ecclesiocracy of technology being part of their faith and propagating through the rest
Like
of their
there
society.
might not be like God,
Right.
but the faith in science
Right.
is above all.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
it's the ecclesiastracy, like the trappings, the idea of that, like, while they might not even be a god, you still call the leader priest or mentor or guide, right? They're always like they're just called these things as just legacy stories.
Scientists are still treated like they're goddamn religious figures.
Yeah.
Or like inventors.
Do they understand that the scientists, the tech people, are just doing physical, normal stuff, or do they believe?
Yes.
Does the average old gold person think that it's actually religious stuff?
Oh.
And only when you're indoctrinated do you understand.
No,
what
I
that
think
is.
I think they understand it, but once again, this is not my game. This is our game. But I like the idea of that. There is a divine sense of working through math proofs and stuff, and like there is like that is religious to them. The electrical engineering, like the resistance charts, is like religious diagrams to them. You know what I mean? Like there is something beautiful about the fact about ohms are written here, and like there is something very.
You know how people do like in animation they do crunch where they just like work for days with like an hour of sleep. Maybe there's some sort of like religious fervor, like the spin dancers. Like there's sort of like a like throwing yourself into the sciences so much that you lose yourself and like work for days straight. Like there's a
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I love the idea. So, like ultimately we're dancing around the ideas that they recognize that it's sort of like a thing, but the act of technology, whether it's throwing yourself into it, there was a religious part to that. Yeah. Awesome. So that is super cool. I'm super into that. Okay. That helps come up some ideas for our lateral society then. Do we want our lateral society? Do we have an origin for them as well, rather than, Orion?
So lateral's like all alien stuff aside from old gold, right? Like, am I understanding that correctly?
They're just on par with humanity. That's why they're lateral.
Is it a collective of different species, or is it like one?
It can be, yeah. It can very much be a collection. It could be a single mono power, or it could be wide.
If it's a single or like a few different different races, I would like initially be like uplifted is neat, especially with them being like. But if it's a bunch of like others, like if it's like an entire collective, then uplifted seems weird. Saying like all of them were.
Yeah.
I believe the official deal is you want 3 big factions, big societies. Old Gold's the one that's been there forever. Soul, because of course you have to have soul. And then there's another one, and it could be whatever we want it to be.
Exactly.
Sure.
We're filling these 3 buckets of power dynamics, right?
I was trying to fill it in like it's a collective council of different species that have these societal capabilities, and like they've reached the benchmarks, and then they have like speakers for them as well.
Like the Federation.
Yeah.
It works better for our situation, yeah.
Was 100% thinking of the Mass Effect Society pre-Earth too, like before Earth joined. So like Earth is still separate and has their own shit, and yeah.
So because we're coming up with this makes me think that they originate in the Athenium.
Sure.
Which is the distant quadrant of sort of a conglomeration. Scientists, historians, and explorers. I mean, that sounds pretty Federation-esque.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna have a little Mass Effect touchstones.
So no, that's okay. That's
the
thing that I know.
All right.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm not gonna reinvent the space wheel.
Awesome.
But I'm gonna try not to say that joke a lot, but
it's a good joke.
It's
a good joke.
Do you need wheels in space?
I mean, to steer the ship, right? It's still you still use giant wheel, right?
Like,
yeah,
it's true.
Solar sails, whole deal.
Every time you steer the wheel, the little SRS thrusters hit, push the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need the circle, the gravity wheel.
Oh,
to make sure you can walk in your ship.
There's plenty of wheels in space, is what we're saying.
There's so
wheels
many.
all over the place.
All right, so
it's full of wheels.
Do we have a strong inkling about our lateral society, our lateral hegemony, to be like how they emerged, like their event? Archaeology, invasion, remnant, sponsored, independent.
I kind of like the idea of rolling for these guys because it's sort of just like it's just a chaotic smorgasbord of however they came to be. So I sort of just
right.
I think that's interesting.
I imagine like one of the races like took the helm, had it first, and then started like giving it to others, sort of deal. So like whatever the first one was, that can be whatever.
Like maybe there were a bunch of galaxies that had the Cinderella planets, and then like one person left, and the other civilizations were close enough, and then from there they kind of like echo out in like a grapevine.
I just really like the idea of them like uplifting each other. Like whichever the first one was rather than just being like, we dominate all of you, was like, no, we're going to like give this tech to the others and we're all going to leave at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I did this as fairly as possible, listing everyone on stream as Dacer is 1, Adam 2, Ben is 3, Alice is 4, and I rolled a 4. Alice, roll a D100 for me, please.
Cool. Oh, okay.
Nice.
Do it.
41.
41 is a remnant. They had access to tech, but then lost it, and they were cut off from their original society, but then they had rediscovered it.
So like one of these planets or a few of them already had this tech and then came to find it again and then like gave it to the others, being like, we've lost it once, we don't want to lose it again. Y'all have it too. So if we lose it again, you can bring it back to us. Sort of deal.
What if the planets weren't livable, but they were terraformed, and that this like capsule was put in for when the species got back up to that level, they would
like a foundation.
It? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, I modified Old Gold from Remnant because it's actually more fitting to be archaeology because they discovered the thing. That was my bad. So Athenium at Remnant. And well, what I was thinking, y'all, and maybe this isn't, we don't want to go down this road, but hear me out if you would. Indulge me. What if the Remnant that they pick up is sort of also the beginning of Old Gold, and that's kind of related?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it would be really interesting if both societies developed not necessarily in parallel, but in like two separate directions from the same sort of point or source.
Yeah.
Again, Prothean technology.
Exactly.
Got it.
Right.
Okay, we are into it. Awesome.
Yeah.
This is
a lot of Mass Effect players here, it sounds like.
Well, so I
Once or twice.
I may have played those games, well, at least the second two, quite a bit. Anyways, I like the idea mostly just because I love the really, I love it because of architecture styles. Like, what do their ships look like after building from the same place, right? Like, that's the interesting bit to me, especially with the lateral stuff, because there's so many different cultures building ships. So, like, I'm curious what parts of the original they've kept and are like still there, and what parts they've improved upon or altered.
Have y'all played Starbound? You can start as 5 different species. All the ships kind of look the same on the inside, but they have like a different shell. I like the idea of like whatever power source or engine it is has to be very similar, but they can build out from that depending on like what planet they start from, what their racial needs are,
what materials are available to them.
But human ships must look different because we independently did it.
Yeah.
We're streamlined and just so weird to them. Like it's all ours look like industrial and like it's.
Oh, this is really interesting because Old Gold also independently did it, and so what does it mean if you meet? What if you met a society that actually did independently do this? What would that mean to your religion? Like, what would that mean to your society?
I also say it's like
fascinating.
It's like a held secret by some of the people in Old Gold. They're like, we're not actually independent.
Right.
So like whenever they met Sol, like, holy shit, they actually did it. It's like,
right.
Yeah, because all the species they had before had that old remnant technology, so they could just say, oh, this is just how it's done. And then Sol popped up like, what now? And they're like,
This is good because this leads us into the next part. For the Sol and the lateral societies that we are developing here, we need to determine their reaction to the consolidation of the old Gold. Sure. So we can either, I can just quickly describe them, and we can either roll, or if there's one that's like this one, just press the buzzer immediately.
Sure, just describe them and we'll decide.
So the first one is maybe their reaction was nothing because we haven't emerged yet. That's a thing. Like, well, old God, whatever. We were still in the 21st century. That's not my problem. We were dealing with our own apocalypse that is 2018. You know, when the old gold was around. The other one is literally join the old gold. We were just like, yeah, that sounds great. We were dominated by a power. And that's that was our reaction. That we just didn't have a choice. We resisted them. But I think that ultimately also means that we failed. We held the old gods back, or there's active war.
I mean, with our stubbornness, it has to be one of the ones where we resisted, and we can decide whether we succeeded or not.
I also like the phrase "held the old gods back."
Yeah, that's also real good. It's a good phrase.
We can roll the just like a D50 or whatever, and just add 50 to it, and then pick randomly for Sol. Lateral, I feel like we could totally pick randomly overall.
Sure, lateral for sure. I just like, I don't know. Soul just has to have resisted in some capacity because like their entire thing is spite based, right? Like, just they had to have tried. I don't.
Well, that means that we all agree that humanity isn't just like the new kid on the block and not yet emerged. That we have been, we've been in this. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the idea too that we've been around for a while, and the old gold and all the other sort of older societies that didn't independently create it sort of fear us, even though we're a lot smaller and weaker than they are, because we actually did do the thing that they
don't know what we're capable of.
Exactly.
An unknown technological entity, which is
our potential.
Yeah.
Which is very cool
Classic
because
humans.
yeah, that's very cool. So Adam, your suggestion of rolling like a D50 plus 50 is great. So maybe you should do us the honors.
I can handle that.
/R, yeah, just D50 plus 50.
Oh, I've used it before, sir. I am not a neophyte. We've resisted.
Yes. Oh, that's even better. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that means we were okay. So we were essentially defeated by the old gold.
Well, hold on though. So I choose to read this as resistance in the same way that there was the French resistance in the World War II, where there is still a resistance. So it's not really an active war, but there's like terrorist fighters on Sol or whatever.
Well, I need to hold on. I need to back up for a quick. This isn't modern time. This resistance. This is in the past. This is even before the exploration war. This is
right,
sort of like
But what I'm saying is that resistance that's like 1,000 years old or whatever, there are still pockets of resistance in Sol. They're like, screw the old gold. We built our own stuff. Like, forget that. Yeah. We're not going to use their stuff.
God, I have to play a Sol engineer now. Just I'd be the most stubborn piece of shit in the world, in the galaxy.
I'm very excited.
This is so good because all right, so there's a lot of time of like the media consumption here. I can just imagine there's so much media about our French resistance. In parentheses or in quotes there about like all the stories of all the struggles and fighting against the old golds. That like are just, because we're spite driven.
Can I have a thing? We're so hard to deal with that they cordoned off our planet.
Yeah,
like it wasn't just like they came down and took over cities. No, they just like locked us down, and
like a siege, right?
Just blockaded us, and we're like, you live here, don't do anything.
And it was like, well, we didn't want to leave before, but now we're gonna leave.
Oh, that's so good.
We were happy. We were fine.
We were fine.
No, but you had to bring the bat to the beehive. You had to. You had to do it, old
I
gold.
have to play a fucking Sol engineer now. I have to. And just be like, I keep our ship together through sheer just spite and anger.
Yeah, this is lovely. So here are some other things that we need to do for our societies. Each society, so each of our 3 societies. Oh, wait, I'm getting ahead of ourselves. Lateral. Are we fine with rolling?
Yeah.
I think we roll for lateral,
Adaser, would you like to?
Yes. I mean, sure. That's fine. 100?
Ben, you'll be doing the next choice of things. I see you. 18.
Y'all good?
They joined.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're so naive. They're just like, we built ourselves up. We helped each other. Y'all must have done the same thing. Why don't we?
Yeah.
They're so kind.
Oh,
I
that's
love
really
them.
good. This is good. Cool. All right. Here's the next step. Because like all of this stuff is kind of like this is what our exploration war is kind of about, I guess, right? Like it seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah. And also, I like the idea of old gold, like finding us not wanting to join them, and them being like, we can't let people know about this planet. That there is another way to do things. So they tried to just squish this in.
So each society has some sort of corruption that the others use to blame for the exploration wars.
Old gold has got to be a religious radicalization.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's calls and claims of slavery, propaganda, surveillance, systemic prejudice, religious radicalization, and economic inequality. It's got to be religious radicalization for all.
That's just half of them. There's also organized crime, moral hypocrisy, inefficient bureaucracy, over decentralization, genetic degradation, and alien infiltration.
Oh yeah,
I believe alien infiltration is totally got to be Soul's accusation against himself, but I kind of want it to be Lateral's normal accusation.
Yeah, I like it because it plays into like all of the species together. Like they're not always going to be able to understand each other or have the same biological functions to make communication possible, and like genetic alteration and infiltration is a thing that just happens. I also like Soul being mobsters. I mean,
Soul's 100%. Yeah, we just fucking like they're so self-startery that they're like there's this whole like criminal organization within that's like we're dealing with old gold and stuff too, right?
When the
like,
whole planet's in jail, might as well act like criminals.
I kind of see that. Like I want to like I agree with everything that's been said. I just think like that sounds more like moral hypocrisy to me. That like we think ourselves differently, but we really are just this rugged, spiteful, like objectively we're actually trash, like these really driven, spite driven trash monsters.
I think we take pride in that trash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. Like yes, just the our spite and our whole like revenge angle is such a good one.
Yeah, like that is what we were raised to believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the question is who perceives this corruption? Is this the corruption tag you give to other people so that the other two factions think of it as, or is this like
Old Gold sees Soul as all these freebooters, freelancers, random groups. It's just all a bunch of mobsters. And, the random freelancer from Soul would be like, I mean, we're not really mobsters. And then the other random freelancer from Soul is like, yeah, I'm totally a mobster. But outside of Soul, everybody's like, I mean, it's just basically criminals, right?
It's just fucking chaos. Like, of course you all like developed it yourself. You're all goddamn crazy.
They're heretics. You follow the heretical faith of your power god.
Yes. I mean, with Old Gold and the Laterals working against us, we have to.
Look, the Laterals are being used. It's fine.
They don't know any better.
And come around.
And so then do we see the Laterals as alien infiltration?
Oh, totally.
Like they are like the lackeys, and they or what is the corruption of the Laterals?
I didn't read that as lackeys. I read that more as the reason they failed. Like the reason they failed, or the reason that the war started on their end, is because they have so many different perspectives that they clashed, and there wasn't a unified front.
Well, not only that too, but you could even argue that some of the Old Gold's agents had infiltrated, or they thought that they had infiltrated, and their culture is so diasporic and different that it's hard to like prove or disprove that. So they just sort of became paranoid against everything and everybody.
So then is that over decentralization as the root cause then? Or is that alien infiltration? Because like I feel like we're talking about this kind of like the same thing. Like I
was thinking infiltration, but I could see it the other way as well.
I think I like decentralization more.
Yeah. I like the alien is like the cross-cultural like spies and stuff like that, paranoia just being kind of like very low level, but it is because they're so far apart in the species and sometimes systems, but like coming from different biomes, it's hard to communicate. So things take longer in every sense.
Right. I like the idea. I'm marking them like rumors of alien infiltration and stuff like that because I think these are good notes to have going forward. Like I like the idea that like while we're coming up with these sort of like this is what happened, that's not necessarily the story that everyone else knows, right? Or that there's twists to that, or like it's not so cut and dry to these societies, which I think is really cool. That's really, really fun stuff. Okay, so do we have All right, we have all of that stuff. I think we can probably give Nobelius. So we all are in different quadrants here. Dominion. So we have to come up with some couple things, right? So there's the cardinal group, and then there's provincial power, right? So I'll just read aloud the next part here, right? So after the 100 years of war, the cardinal powers and the other 3 quadrants intervened. Together, we secured Orion's cardinal core and demanded the combatants sign the Cardinal Compact, right? Each signatory agreed to cease offensive actions and gain access to the anti-agent. I'm gonna say the anti-agent stuff. Anti-aging science.
Man.
Anagathics.
That's all.
All right. Anagathics. Thank you. Okay. So basically, one society is granted dominion over the core as the sort of cardinal society, while everyone else was relegated as provinces. From our 3 societies here, we have to choose now which one is the cardinal and which 2 are the provinces. So I think immediately, is it Sol or Old Gold who actually is the dominion? Like who's the cardinal?
You see, I almost wanted to say laterals just because they were like they
That'd
just
be even better.
They fucking surprised everyone.
The sleeper.
I back you up on that all the way.
So I can back that up with a story from Go Play. I played a space game for about 9 hours, and I kind of hung back for most of the games while the other people like destroyed each other, and then I began just like taking over things.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, they sort of like overcame everything, and now
Yep, they're the winner.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. So yeah, the exploration wars. Oh yeah, we were so bullheaded with one another, between Old Gold and Sol, that they just snuck in. They got the win.
Power of the friendship army.
Friendship unite.
If there's going to be a cardinal power that tells everybody, okay, we're going to stop fighting, it's obviously not going to be Sol.
No, Sol would have been happy for
Yeah.
Sol would have been happy for everyone in this entire goddamn universe to just fucking kill each other. Like they were not going to end.
We won.
Burn the universe and take us with it.
There is an inconsiderable number of people who probably do believe, not necessarily isolation, it's just that we would be better if we were the only race in the galaxy.
I mean, really, I think half of their thing isn't it would be better if we were the only race. Just it would be better if we fucking took everyone out with us. Like if this universe was just fucking empty.
Yeah, just nihilistic, just annihilate everything. The annihilation is preferred.
Nihilistic.
Yeah, the annihilist faction.
And the fact
That's
that
cool.
the laterals kind of already have this council organization thing built into it, just took them 100 years.
Right. They are 100% the better bureaucrats out of all of us because they're fucking used to it.
This is awesome. So the next part here is coming up with our structures for these 3 factions here. There's the Alliance faction. It's a society of independent nations working together. You have the Empire, which is basically just an autarky. Nations ruled by a powerful sovereign. There's a Federation, which is more rather than an alliance, is more like a confederation. A federation is more self-governing, all under one big government where everyone wants to work together. You have a hegemony, which is basically one state that sort of projects power over everyone else. You have a league, which is actually the true confederation. Like an alliance is I don't know, like a difference between an alliance and a league is very nuanced to me. Does someone have a good example of like this is when I think of an alliance, I think of this. When I think of a league, I think of this.
An alliance is 2 states that do not have one person that can choose what the 2 states will do. They'll all hang out together, and at any point, one can be like, "We're going to do this," and the other person's going to be like, "Well, we're not going to do that," and then immediately the alliance breaks down. I feel like the laterals end up being closer to a league than a federation in this situation.
Okay.
We have all agreed that we will follow this government regardless of whether you feel like it's the best course of action. It is your duty to listen.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last one is unitary, which is the monolithic single unified nation central government.
The other thing to think about League is that think about it like League of Nations or the United Nations. Here's the big group, and you're supposed to listen to the big group. And because the laterals have been used to this, they're cool about that. I don't believe anything in here is unitary. I think that the closest you get for soul is like I don't know what it fits. Does anybody have an idea what fits? Like we're just a hodgepodge.
What page is this on?
Yeah.
This is page 12 and 13 of the PDF that I am currently using, at least.
Correct.
One of the things that I'm thinking for soul is that soul is one of these things, but only by accident. And most of the soul empire is like, screw that, we're doing our own thing, and we're not going to listen to whatever the ruling party says.
I think that fits for a federation. Like we have this organized thing, but they're like, it's like when the Klingons join the Federation. Like they're still doing their own stuff and crime and stuff. They're like, yeah, I guess I'll go along. But they're not like completely in line.
Let's see.
With it. But everyone agrees under the.
I mean, I want to say it's
we're
alliance,
a syndicate,
right?
Yeah.
Like it's just a bunch of separate pieces that will essentially work together when they all hate the same thing, but otherwise fuck off.
Yeah, no, an alliance united in our hate and our spite is like amazing.
just when someone upsets all of us, that's when we have a very bad enemy to make. Just if you can keep us like if you can only upset one of us or something, then that's fine. Just don't upset all of us.
Yeah, I don't think Sol would agree to a league.
No.
As optimistic as I want to be,
No.
There's a bunch of different.
We're literally a criminal syndicate. We're a cartel.
What's crime?
Let's be real.
I haven't seen any space cops.
Our chief export is spite.
I know that Old Gold sounds like an empire, but I really want them to be a hegemony. They want to be something closer to like Soul is, or like the Laterals are at this point, because they feel like they need kind of that boost of modern stuff. But really, one of the states is pulling all the strings as far as everything is concerned. Nobody else,
the chief religious world.
Yeah, it's wherever that tech was initially,
the Vatican.
Like wherever that tech was originally founded, they are the leaders, just so that they can make sure no one else finds out that they didn't actually create it themselves.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like the whole planet is like a big scientific campus.
Well, I like the idea of, I don't know what the tech is like and how extreme it can be, but I like the idea of an almost sentient piece of technology, or like one of those like Dyson spheres, or like a planet-sized machine or whatever.
Oh my God, yes! Man, that's amazing!
You're welcome. Being like the actual source of government power, and no one really has the computing power to refute that. They just like, okay, like they have no choice. So under that, it is sort of a hegemonistic dictatorship.
It's one thing. It's like the College of Cardinals, or like just like a grand cathedral. It's like one mega structure.
Yeah,
like that is the point of their church.
It's Winterhold, because I've been playing a lot of Skyrim, and I gotta sneak that in here over all the Mass Effect stuff.
That's okay. I'm sure I'll get a Dragon Age reference in here somewhere. It's fine.
Oh, this is lovely. This is great.
I just want a Morrigan people.
I've played a lot of Dragon Age. It's
All right,
a thing.
We are
hard to show off that tattoo. From
we're booking through this then. Cool.
Because we're the best. We are the best.
Yeah. Okay.
Around.
So the next part is coming up with a concept for our societies, but I feel like we've just been doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a chance for us to reflect on how things have changed since the Exploration War, if anything has sort of like grown about from these outcomes. But we've literally just been talking through that for the past 90 minutes or whatever, or past hour. So I think we're kind of okay on that, and I think we're ready to move forward to culture and societal norms.
I think we've been talking culture as well.
Right.
We pretty much have these, although we need 3 descriptors for each. I believe if we don't have spite for soul, we have failed each other.
Yeah.
We said it about a dozen times.
Spiteful.
Spiteful. Yeah, no, definitely spiteful. Are we honorable? Do we keep to our agreements if you do?
I mean...
I think we have to, because when you work with criminals, your word is what you have.
Or we
like
entitled?
Well, like I don't like spiteful.
I like honorable.
So
Honorable.
spiteful, stubborn, honorable.
Well, I think honorable is, in a lot of ways, stubborn is honorable. You know what I mean? Like they're very related words. I have no problem putting down stubborn unless someone has another like additional one.
It's
Only
the
because there's a lot
color.
of overlap with those words in case we wanted like it's another big circle.
I
of
like
ideas.
honorable over stubborn because stubborn can be tucked into that. When I say a thing, I mean it, even to the destruction.
Are the descriptors all like ideological, just so I'm understanding them correctly, or are there some that it's more? Because if I remember in the example, there was some that was kind of like
The straight example.
biological.
The straight example is religious, honorable, entitled, competitive, progressive, tough, honorable, militant, disciplined, which all feel, I mean, it's
Okay,
a culture,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
Right. Well, like, yeah, I'm thinking maybe tough, or something like, well,
Resilient.
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 But we came up with the 0 point tech on our own. I feel like at least one of the cultural things is a remnant of that, right?
Self-reliant, improvisation,
Or innovative or something like that.
creative,
Innovative.
Yeah. I was gonna say
innovative or creative.
Works.
I like creative.
Resilient, creative, and spiteful.
So many. So
many creative ways to be spiteful too.
We're all designers here. For the most, I know we all are designers. Yeah, we're all designers. Hey, a lot of cool things have been designed out of spite. So,
for sure. That game sucks. Let me just make the better version of that real quick.
I hate fighting in this one game. What if there's no fighting?
So then we're honorable or resilient. I would rather go honorable, but I could totally see either way.
I like resilient and creative or innovative. I like innovative a little more than creative because we had to work at it.
I think
creative is more of an impulse.
I think I like innovative over creative too, but I do think I like resilient over honorable.
I think the thing with resilient is that we were the ones that resisted for a long time. So I think, historically with Soul's version, this makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Whereas they're honorable, they could be that more modern wise, but it's not so much like a foundational trait of all things.
I like honorable being a case by case basis with us.
Some of our
just like with crimes. Also, I notice whenever I talk like that, my mouth just like slides to the side of my face.
Space cops.
Awesome.
So Old Gold's totally religious, right?
Oh yeah.
Devoted is a word I'd use.
Devoted is better.
Devoted is so good.
Fanatical, maybe?
Yes.
Either of those.
I was trying to think of like zealous or fanatical.
Single-minded seems appropriate.
Yeah, maintain
or
what we believe.
Orthodox.
Yeah, because they're trying to keep the past current, right?
They're not regressive, but they are I wanted to keep doing the same thing.
I don't know if they are orthodox because we've talked about them rediscovering technology that they didn't realize that they had.
Yeah,
so it's not that they have everything.
Okay. I think something I'm thinking about is I love the secret thing, that the secret part is the technology that it's a lie, and their power is built on a lie. But I don't think a lot of their qualities are built on the lie, right? As well, there's something else about them that is.
There's some people.
That was a necessary evil because of their other traits. Is how I'm thinking about it, but. You could once again. I'm a minority stakeholder in this group of five, right? This is an equal share across the table fictionally. What are we thinking?
So
I have this feeling of them as kind of the post-Empire British kind of self-deprecating sense of Old Gold, where they know they're on the outs and they're like, there was a great time a long time ago, but right now, we know we're not great. and we can deal with ourselves not being great. And so in the general diplomatic meetings that you have, or if you watch them doing stand-up or whatever, they talk about, oh yeah, we're all terrible, don't worry about us, everything is going to be fine.
Goddamn Goldie. Fucking old gold stand-up comedy is not something I want to see.
So yeah, I definitely, I'm not sure if that's worthy of a trait. It constitutes a trait, but there definitely is a cultural, like, self-deprecating sense. They've been around forever, but like, yeah, they dealing with the fact that the best are behind them.
So the words we're working with so far are something like religious or zealot or fanatical.
Yeah, I have fanatical, conservative. I'm just gonna write down a lot and then erase some of them that we don't.
Yeah, I think that's the better way to do. Like, find a bunch that work.
Fanatical, conservative, orthodox,
devoted, single-minded.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just put empirical.
Empirical's a good one.
Do we, related to self-deprecating, do they have a sense of sort of like, almost like an inferiority complex? Because they were not the original progenitor. They're this generation's progenitor, and they've lost. And so they're like historical role models or deities or whatever are unattainable. So they're kind of like, I'm struggling to come up with a good word for it, but they're kind of like, they view themselves as lesser somehow.
Oh God, they have got imposter syndrome with their over their like people
overcompensating.
Over the people like yeah, something like that. No, like overcompensating implies that they're like trying too hard to be this thing where it's like they know that they can't. It's almost like a nihilistic, not nihilistic, but like fatalistic sort of thing. Like, we'll never achieve that again. Why try sometimes? Like some of them. I don't think it's worthy of a trait either, but it's a thing.
I want to play an old gold engineer and the full-on fatalistic, look, this ship is busted. We should just go get a new ship.
And then my response is, fuck you and fuck this ship. Fixes it.
So no, I kind of really I dig that. I dig that a lot about the old gold. That's juicy.
Traditional, fanatical, what did I say?
Empirical.
Fanatical feels like too active for the
Zealous?
old gold in my head.
Zealous or devoted would be my 2 words for that.
Devoted
like
sounds
devoted.
Soft and nice. It's like
orthodox. Orthodox.
Traditional, I think, is better.
Yeah.
Traditional is good.
They can be traditional while still discovering new technology. I just worry that orthodox is, this is the way things are, things never change when they're scientists and they're about change.
What's it called? Do you ever do that thing where you stare at your keyboard at letters trying to think of words that start with them?
Yeah, because I remember like names by the vowels and how long they are. So I'm like, okay, if I have 7 letters and I know there's an E in it. Yeah.
Okay, so someone give me the final 3.
Let me look at the...
For old gold?
Yeah.
I keep swirling around this idea of somehow that because they're not really discovering in the way that you can't discover a new math proof. You're uncovering. You're like relearning or like reproving somehow. So I'm wondering if they have some sort of like introspective or like thoughtful, because I'm trying to think of it from more of an action that they have as opposed, or a personality that they have as opposed to an ideology. So I'm thinking like they're thoughtful or intelligence, not right, but they're like maybe focused on intellectualism or something.
Philosophical, inward.
Yeah.
Philosophical is really good.
Yeah.
I really like that view.
I think like philosophical, devoted, and then like traditional would be my top 3.
Yeah, I like that.
Philosophical, devoted, traditional. Yeah.
Cool. And then the laterals.
Friendly.
I would say
egalitarian, maybe.
There's a word I'm trying to think of that describes them perfectly. Give me a second.
I'm also giving them a deep South accent in my head.
Again, there's too many of them. There's not.
There's a lot of
This
different kinds of
one-
southern
this one-
accents.
This one is New Orleans, just kind of
New Orleans.
that hard to place.
Yeah. That
Shrewd?
South French. Bureaucratical?
Bureaucratic is a word I would definitely use.
Mhm.
Oh,
I don't know
want
how
it
to
to be
spell that,
like
so-
full on. I want it to be on full on city council. Like their bureaucracy is not. You need to fill out these 4 pieces of paper and then take them over to this person. It's like, look, we are all friends here. We're all going to get things done. It'll be fine.
Mhm.
I'll let Suze know that you need this thing done from Alice, and then everything will work out. Right?
I was also thinking of like a neighborhood like HOA.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
But good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So when you said that, I was like,
They have so many different like city councils in their towns and stuff. There's too many. There's too many.
Yeah. So bureaucratic feels like it's this kind of stuffy, paperwork-driven thing, and that's not the way I really want
yeah.
it to be.
Communal
Yeah,
is a
communal is
word.
great.
Yeah, so friendly, egalitarian, bureaucratic, communal, and that's not how you spell bureaucratic, but whatever.
Yeah. I went to spell it and I saw that and I'm like, that looks right. Wait.
I mean, see, I'd almost
It's how you
like
spell it in space.
just get rid of
Yeah.
friendly. Like the other 3 are perfect. Just get rid of friendly.
Neighborly.
See,
They're
I
Neighborly is excellent.
I don't feel like all of them are like that. I feel like just with like the
Not
people with
Flanders.
this like
No, not all of them are like that. Like this is the
Think of
this
your
is the
neighbors. There's
stereotype, right?
yeah.
that's I don't think of that any of these as the stereotype. These are traits. These are things that are to some degree true about you as a culture.
I'm reading straight off of the book, man. Its culture is commonly treated as a stereotype.
I say okay. Maybe
That's
I
all
was
I'm coming from. That's a,
What about civic? I just looked up thesaurus for bureaucratic.
at which
Civic-
point I
Civic
kind of
I like.
want to play the lateral engineer who is totally not friendly. But compared to Soul, he's very friendly. But
Look,
compared to everybody else, right now-
Soul's perfectly
God, that
friendly
guy's a
until you
dick.
Soul is perfectly friendly till you piss us off. We're the easiest to get along with. Just when you hurt us, we're going to murder you and your children.
I've been following the
He's like-
thesaurus down and municipal came up. Municipal's a fun.
Municipal's a good one.
I
they're
really
very
like
community-based.
Civic is really
Civic,
cool.
I think like egalitarian, communal, civic.
Yep.
Would be my favorites.
We cool with that? Well, all locked in. Cool. And now we have to come up with some names. We have to come up with names for our old gold, our soul, and our lateral.
Of what their current societies are called, or what?
Yeah. The official name.
Soul is just Soul.
It-
There's like 1,000 different random
There's two-
factions.
Yeah, I don't feel like they're all in a loosely joined alliance and they don't have any like the Soul Alliance is perfect. Like they're vaguely
We're not a syndicate.
no. Well,
Too nefarious.
again, that depends on who you ask,
Solliance.
right? Solliance. The syndicate thing depends on who you ask, right? Like that's
Yeah.
Mm,
We're Sola, yeah. The Soul Alliance. Everyone just calls us Sola. I mean, I'm putting Soul Alliance for now until we come up with a better one.
I mean,
I like
I think it's perfect, but we can
Yeah.
think of something else.
For the laterals, I like the idea of them using some ridiculously long acronym. Like they went out of their way to make the name of their society work with this word, like whatever the space word for friendship is or something. Like they have an acronym for this. I don't know. Maybe I'm leaning into that too cutesy, but
Yeah, they crowdsourced it for like 30 years before
Yeah.
they decided on it.
I don't know if like friendly, but
Federation,
something
the
like-
Federation.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
it would need to be like valor or
It's-
something like ephemeral and
Yeah, I was going.
Uh,
yeah. I was thinking ephemeral and extremely like avant-garde art. It's an expression.
Yeah.
Like the sensation of a
Oh,
sun
God, are
that
they
is
called
too
hope?
warm.
Are they called
You know,
hope?
like a sensation of a warm day when it's normally cold, but it's also raining. You know, like this really long term. I feel like look, it's a word, and that's just like what.
I really like that. And then sensation is what everybody calls them.
Yeah.
Sensation.
Yeah, but like, what is the unifying sensation? It's the thing. It's like, oh yeah, no, like every culture has felt this thing before.
But nobody actually knows what the
Sonder.
original word was. It's just you hear soul people talking, and they use sensation heavily dripping with cynicism. And it's like when you ask them what the whole thing is, everybody comes up with their own sensation for
I'm
what it was.
confused as to what what we're talking about currently is. I have no. I lost something.
Yeah, skipped over something for me.
I was thinking. So we're talking about the lateral's name, and I was thinking like
Sure.
I was thinking that maybe they unified under a unified pleasant experience that all of the cultures could share, and there's some sort of like ephemeral word for that like a different, like that everyone kind of tries to capture together. I don't know if it has to be
like pleasant experience, just a thing all of them can agree on, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be like, pleasant in that sort of way. I just think it needs to be unifying.
That's why I like the word sonder, which my understanding of it is like you understand and appreciate that everybody has a life that's as complex and meaningful to them as your own is as complex and meaningful to yourself. So I feel like they came up with this, and then they have an actually more detailed like sub name that's the acronym of Sonder or something like that. But then people always forget what this word means, and fart jokes or whatever abound at that point.
I didn't even know that's a word. That's perfect. No, the sensation that you are a part of a bigger thing and they're all operating independent. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's exactly the ephemeral. Yeah.
Yeah, we can ask people to come up with what Sonder actually abbreviates to, and just take all of them because nobody remembers.
That's brilliant.
When you ask them what Sonder means, they don't give you an acronym meaning. Rather, they don't like tell you what it stands for. They describe it. It's a different thing. It is not an acronym in the sense that it's like all those letters stand for something. It is the fact that they each associate something different with it.
And friends, we could always come up with more lateral societies too. Isn't that fun?
That's crazy time.
Yeah, I think we're okay with these three right now. But in case we could always do that. And
we don't have an old gold name though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Should they have a how like out there should this name be? Like, should it sound very like religious? Should it be
it should sound over the top and like ritualistic almost?
Yeah.
If it can have at least 5 words in it, that's ideal.
Yeah, for the old gold, I feel like it should be. I like the idea that it sounds very archaic somehow. Like maybe, and this is a little bit dripping into fantasy territory, but maybe it is just a word that is not like an English word, or like that people would. There's no direct translation for it. It's just a scary sounding sound or something, But I don't know. I'm just thinking about it like they discovered the name that they call themselves. Like everybody else calls them the old gold, but the official name is some ancient alien word from their science gods.
The Confederacy of whatever.
Like I'm thinking of like I'm trying to come up with a word like this, like mausoleophis, or like
that's actually pretty good.
It's very Gygaxian.
Yeah. Of like mausoleophis of the sacred sphere.
There's a word that says a guide who gives information about antiquities and places of interest to site seeker. It's Cicerone, CIS. Sorry,
Cicerone?
I'll type it. Yeah, like.
Isn't that a wine dude? I don't know.
Yeah, but it also means like a guide, which I imagine them being guided by the discoveries and the preemptive like roles that they have by the precursor thing that they've forgotten.
Yeah,
sightseer, guide, archaeologist. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
and it's just uncommon enough to kind of be its own.
Yeah, and to Christoph's point, we accidentally invented 3 soft S sounds for all 3 of our societies, so that might be hard.
Make it a hard C sound, like a K sound.
To like
Why three
Cut-
soft S's?
I like-
I only see two.
Well, we
It's
can.
Saunders, Alliance, and Cicerone.
Well, we can give them.
Soul is the Alliance, and laterals are Sonder, and Old Gold is Kissaron.
There
Is
you
it
go.
Is it?
We don't have to
Kiss-
pronounce it the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're aliens.
Kaiser
Whatever.
Astro. Right. So
Kaiserone
are
is
we
fine.
cool with just calling them a short name of Kaiserone, or should we give them the long name, embellished name as Alice was suggesting? And I
like
am
the embellished name.
slowly want.
Yeah. Kaiserone of the Hidden Sphere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or sacred,
The ancient-
sacred sphere.
Sacred.
Yeah. The eternal guiding sphere.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Of the eternal sphere is good.
Yeah, because Kaiserone could
All
shorten
right.
down to a very
I mean-
not great word. So let's.
I'm totally
Not
gonna.
shorten it.
So I think I want to steal a little thing here about the old god, or excuse me, the old gold here. I can say old god because we're talking about religion and the society too, and it's really easy to slip.
I mean, if any society was accidentally to summon like an elder god, it's this one. So
I was gonna steal a little thing from 40k, and that I think this sphere helps them astronavigate. That is like a really good bearing, which lets them travel.
I mean, it's totally their one gigantic mainframe. When they talk about
Yeah.
things being in the cloud, that's where it is.
I feel like it's almost like it acts like north on a compass. Like anyone on regardless of where you are in the galaxy knows where that thing is, and you can navigate by it.
That's what I'm saying. It's sort of like their guide. That's because especially with the name like travel guide and stuff like that, it's immediately like, oh yeah, of course, it's their North Star. It's their thing that their everything orients their compass towards.
I'm now picturing this like the giant sphere in Destiny called the Traveler. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's an inapt analogy. Like it's very. I imagine it's very
I'm thinking
very,
of the
very-
sphere in the sphere.
yes, sphere. Christ runs with the sacred sphere. Sacred, I don't know. Sphere.
I like
sphere,
eternal better.
Eternal sphere, like
See,
Eternal.
I don't
The
like
eternal.
sphere. Sphere sounds too pejorative.
Eternal guide.
I mean, astrosphere, like astrosphere, is better, but that's hard as heck to say.
We're going
Well,
for as many soft S's as we can. Though. That's
Yeah. Christ
What's the archaic word for sphere? Other than globe? It's another.
circum something.
No.
Circum is usually circle. Globe. Astroglobe is pretty good.
Kaiserone of the eternal globe isn't bad.
Of the eternal
Globe.
It's something that the soul people would
Orb?
make fun of.
The
Makes
orb?
it perfect.
Yeah.
Of the like sacred or eternal orb also work.
Yeah, but orb is an object and not like a place you
Yeah.
inhabit. Like this
Like,
is they live there. They live
The reason
in the
I like
cathedral.
globe is because it's also a planet.
Yeah, that's true. Globe. I'll put globe here. Circum. Oh, fancy words for sphere. Come on, Google. Circle, apple, globe, pill, orb, ball, globule, planet, pellet. Nah. None of
In
these
the
are-
in the translators, like the
Ronder.
universal translators, did it get translated as apple, just for some crazy reason because it came from alien language?
Does it need to, Christoph's point, does it need to be a sphere? Could be like another shape. If we like the idea or the word of a different shape, like I get that it's kind of planetoid, but if it is a technological wonder, it doesn't need to be.
Totally.
As long as it's not a box, we're fine. Because then I will not be able to picture anything other than the goddamn
Borg.
board.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
eternal astrolabe. Yeah, Karasaurons of the eternal astrolabe or astrolabe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that just sounds weird and like very like Dune-y or like extremely like at least Jodorowsky, you know, like and
the more
Mobius.
Dune I can shove into this game.
Yeah, like this is
every chance I get.
this is where that's getting sent. That's where we're channeling that, and you know, I'm into it. Yeah. Okay. All these decadent nobles, their opulent church robe stuff, and their insane practices. Oh yeah.
So there's definitely still big hats,
Like-
right? Because I was going to ask earlier, but
Oh yeah, they have to have big hats.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Very important.
there's definitely
Can we make that one of the 3 cultural signifiers?
Big hats.
I'm not sure a cultural signifier, but yeah. Big hatted.
Space Pope, I
popes.
said earlier.
Big
No,
or
it's-
important headgear.
It's not even
Space.
Space Pope. It's Space Scientist Pope.
Hmm.
The Astro Papacy.
Yeah.
The Astro. I don't know why Astro's at the Astro Pope.
The
I,
the foremost researcher of the eternal astrolabe.
yeah.
That's a
Oh,
good one.
so good. That is so good.
Because it's not top, but it's forward. They're moving through time. It's not.
Yeah. Foremost researcher.
I like
Yep.
the idea from that of it's just like an extremely long mask that sticks off in front of them. It's like 20 feet veil that just 20 feet in front of
No,
them.
like the hat is a good 20 feet
Yeah.
circumference, and
It's
it's all
a theory
veiled.
that there's an artist I'm going to try to find in between these games, but he's done where they have big round hats and the veil goes completely down, but they're also warriors, so it's like split in certain spots.
Y'all
So-
ever play Dark Souls 3? Giant witch hat? Never mind. By giant, I mean giant.
All right. But I think with the naming part, we are at a good breaking point for creation, because we have our 3 major societies.
Sure.
And the next part is coming up with describing our ship and our purpose, which we kind of already spoke about before, which is great. So in case, we've also been talking now for about an hour and a half. So if you want to take a break of any kind, if you guys need to grab food or anything like that, this would be a great time.
I'm going to grab a drink really quick, but it'd be
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Right.
do
Let's
a
just
quick walk.
a quick minute. It sounds pretty good. All right, let's do that. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Get back to our creation components here. So we were kind of joking about while we were getting around it. Did you add the extra part for soul? Playful, resilient, innovative? I don't see it anywhere.
No, it's
Okay.
it's a swear word. I can't type a swear word in public.
No, you can't. Not on Roll20, you get banned.
No. You banned.
All right, I'm going to bring us over to a place to talk about our ship, which is the next part here. So everybody starts with a specific ship. We start with a Corvette. However, our Corvette gets customized based on what we want to do and how we want to work together. We have kind of discussed this before going into the stream, so I'll just so everyone knows, if you're watching, what are the other options for ships. There's agents, there are bounty hunters, there's couriers, there's mercenaries, there's scouts, and there's technicians. And for our game, we have chosen the scout because we want to go out and explore new things.
This has got to be a soul ship, by the way.
Oh, so it's all weird.
I mean, yeah, like it's so I seriously like I know we haven't actually made characters yet, but I do want to be like the resident engineer for this ship, and like of like it being a soul ship and me just being like, yeah, no, we built this thing, I know this thing like the back of my hand, don't mess with it.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do, because every ship type comes with a sort of like regular package of modules, I'm just writing those down that go with the scout. And then we also get an upgraded laboratory. Awesome.
This is like a dumb question, but is there a general like tech comparison in terms of combat that we should be thinking of? Is it like super duper far away, curvature of space, shooting lasers at each other, or is it more like shooting missiles? Like I'm not quite sure I understand. Maybe I'm jumping the gun, no pun intended, on understanding what like the ship technology is like, just in terms of the vast spectrum of sci-fi, levels.
Right. So when I played this game, we didn't really do a lot of shooting with our ships except for shooting stationary targets with lasers in very close range. So I'm not exactly sure. Christoph, what can we do, or is that kind of up? Is it up to us as a group?
Okay, so there's like two main technologies in the galactic community that are like the cutting edge technologies. You've got biotech, which is used quite a bit and does everything organic. Your hydroponics bay and life support would all be organic, so you wouldn't have vents beyond the walls. You'd have tentacles or vines or something. The technology allows FTL and shields and stuff. It's called 0-point technology. It is basically allows you to draw energy out of space-time and then use that to fold space-time, spindle space-time, and do all sorts of things. You can get shields with that, or pulses pulses of space-time. They're basically little knots that go and disrupt it or change its gravity or whatever. So that's the main tech stuff. There is no communication beyond a system, so you have to actually go there to do that. That keeps you good and independent. And that you always carry the internet with you, as an example. Everything else, ranges and stuff, basically everything's measured in like a zone system. So there's a bunch of little zones, and those are fit into regions. So like scanners are long range, which is like 2 regions, and most weapons are a single region, that sort of thing.
Okay. That's great. Like the folding space-time as a weapon, that gives me a good idea of where we're at technologically. So yeah, no, that's great.
There is one way of getting torpedoes. It's a base piece of equipment that none of the flags get, but you can purchase, and it gives you basically like mines and torpedoes and stuff. And they basically, you have to fly them towards something. So it goes like one region around towards something that could be really far away.
Also, in Roll20, While I'm writing down notes for our ship here, for our screen, could I have someone please be a designated volunteer? I have a character sheet for the ship set up, and they could kind of start filling in some things here while I write on screen. Yeah, cool. Because I don't want to have that screen open for the whole time, and then people will like having to squint to see it. I'd rather just them see like the cliff notes of like all the big huge decision points that we're making.
Totally.
I really appreciate that, Adam. Thank you very much. Cool. It is the ship. That is the character sheet you should be looking at. Cool. So we've decided on Scout, and I've kind of grabbed the default package here with the module, the upgraded lab that we can customize. The next things we need to come up with are our tactics. And now tactics, we're going to be choosing a couple here. And let me just kind of quickly just go over kind of the general broad name of them. Like you can pick Agile, you could pick Armored, you could pick Defensive, Inquisitive, Responsive, Strategic, Utility, and Weapons. And we're going to be picking, we're picking 3 of them.
Responsive immediately, please.
So responsive gives us a grav drive, a reactor, and sensors, which kind of makes sense. That's sort of, well, we already have sensors and stuff. Does that just improve them a step? I imagine it does.
Can you pick one of the 4 and you add to it? So like the more grav drive we have, we can modify atmospheric thrusters, orbital injectors, fold inducer, weight generator.
Right. I'm sorry. I get what I was asking is there a maximum that we should be on the lookout for?
3, I believe.
Just okay. So we can't. It doesn't. So anything that goes over 3 doesn't help us. Is it a free choice or is it? Or are we just out of it?
I believe it would be like you could do 12 for grav drive, and it would still. You'd still have something to fill
space
in.
Over. Yeah. I was just thinking of sensors and other parts, but okay, that's fine.
I believe all of them leave room for 12.
There's enough space for them.
What page is this list on?
Sure. 16, 17, the top. All right. So first off, I'm totally into Alice responsive. Is there something else that we want to jump on? I'm not gonna try to.
I have to just go to the list because
so the armor, you can also look on the character sheet like for the ship. It doesn't just do the drop down. You don't have to find it in the book. But the options are Agile, Armored, Defensive, Inquisitive, Responsive, Strategic, Utility, Weapons.
Right. So Agile gives you two upgrades to your grav drive and sensors. Armored gives you shields and armor slots. Defensive gives you the opposite of Armored. Where it gives you more shields and 1 armor rather than Armored as being 1 shield and 2 armor. So Inquisitive comes with a grav drive and 2 sensors. A Responsive comes with the grav drive, reactor, and sensor. Strategic comes with a pulse array, reactor, and armor slot. So a pulse array is the weapon. Utility is a pulse array and 2 reactor. And then weapons is 2 pulse arrays and shields.
Also picking what like our characters later will also give us things to take later, potentially.
I like being agile. Being fast, maneuverable.
Yeah.
It also improves our sensors.
And I want Inquisitive if we can manage it, which leaves us with very few defensive stuff, but makes us have crazy sensors.
All right. So we are. As a scout ship, we are, like, what we're going to be doing is taking jobs from patrons for surveying, prospecting, and exploration into unknown or forgotten systems. Right, so keep that in mind as that is what we're going to be doing on the show. So, like, that's going to be the missions I'm going to ultimately come up with are going to be in that category. And so definitely choose tactics to fit those sort of situations of, once again, exploring, prospecting, surveying.
It sounds like we already figured out we want to be inquisitive and we want to be fast and maneuverable. So I guess that's agile, right?
Agile and responsive.
And responsive. Okay. So how many do we get? 3, you said?
3.
Okay.
Agile, responsive, inquisitive.
Okay, great.
3.
Right. A lot of sensors, but then we don't have armor, shields, or weapons.
Weapons I'm cool not having, although we might get whenever making characters, I might take shields or something or someone else because we get to pick those for characters as well.
Personal stuff.
I mean, Eric, we'll never get shot at. Come on.
Yeah.
In a space game.
Yeah.
Also, not having shields just means I get to repair the ship more. That's fun.
Oh, is there maybe? What if this might? Yeah, that's kind of cool. Maybe traditionally soul ships don't really rely on shields too much, or
as a heads up, I was probably going to take literally shield engineer and
never mind.
shield technician and mechanic. My entire
shield
job was
obsessive.
Yeah, my entire job was going to be keeping the ship together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. So we're good with there. So now we can start converting and customizing our ship here. Right, so while we have all of those options here, I think we can upgrade 7 different systems.
And we get a bunch of free ones based on the tactics.
Yeah.
So if you would write those down, that'd make it easier to figure this thing out.
Yep.
So agile, inquisitive, responsive gives us 4 sensors upgrades, 4 grav drive upgrades, and 1 reactor upgrade, and then we get 7 more upgrades.
That's a lot.
Ship creation is very similar to character creation.
Let's see. Let's see.
So are we going to go into atmosphere?
Yeah, don't forget the original scout drive options as well, which is a grav drive, reactor, sensors, and shields. Those are also base extras to get. Not base extra. But...
I mean, yeah, us touching down on land seems very plausible, especially if we're surveying. We can't do all of that from orbit, I imagine.
Yeah, this stuff is at page 126, 127, the specific mods.
I feel like it's from a fun standpoint, exploring the surface of the planet might be. So I would want to have some kind of means. It wouldn't necessarily have to be the main ship. It could be like a little shuttle pod a la Enterprise, but some kind of way to get back and forth terrestrially.
Really, with the scout ship, it seems like those would be small enough that they want to touch down anyways.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Ships can land. It depends on sometimes Corvettes. When I hear Corvette, I always have to ask whether it can go into atmosphere or not, because sometimes Corvettes can or can't. But in this game, they can. Yeah.
That was small enough to land on most planets.
Yeah. The inquisitive upgrade is 2 sensors, not a reactor.
Did I grab the wrong one? Oh, I grabbed responsive again, I think.
And it also does not have a grave drive, although I think that would be
grave drive.
Awesome.
That is the name of what the old gold use, are grave drives. No, it's
I mean, that's some 40K shit.
Yeah.
Ships powered by the deaths of your enemies.
That
or
sounds
civilians.
like something a human would do.
Yeah, the soul engineers call it a grave drive because you always fly yourself into the planet.
And so many people died in their first attempts to make this viable.
Oh yeah, like fucking
radiation leaks. It was.
Do
awful.
you know how many cities no longer exist on Earth anymore? It's a lot.
So write down grave drive somewhere.
Seattle's still humming along though. It's weird.
Literally humming. There's a hum everywhere in the city.
There's a giant, and yeah, it's fine.
That's how they describe it too.
Yeah, it's fine.
They hand gesture at them.
Public transportation's still horrible.
It's exactly the same.
Okay. So for more stuff, it feels like we're good on like sensors and gravity drive and stuff. What are some things you might also want?
I mean, pulse array is a maybe.
Do we
having a weapon? Unless we want to be literally weaponless, I will honor that.
If we want to have a gun, that's fine. I'm not manning it. That's just my.
I feel like if it's a soul ship, wouldn't it have a gun though? Like if humans are pretty.
Oh no! See,
scrappy.
you're imagining this way. It depends on the type of ship, but also you're imagining this way less personal than I'm picturing it. You don't shoot someone with a ship as if you're soul. You walk up, you fucking stab them with a knife, right? No.
A big knife on the side of a battering ram. No.
I mean, yes, that would actually be much more likely.
Do we have a bayonet on our ship?
Yes. So the ship, I think, is 100. I picture them very like, not like sleek and metallic looking, and with lots of edges. I imagine they were built so that they could act as battering rams a lot. But like us, if we don't have a gun, that's fine. I'm just not going to man it. Someone else should do that.
Okay, so where are we picking our mods from first? Just so I'm not like scrolling through all of the pages.
Let's do sensors first. And I feel like we probably want to focus on close rangey type stuff since we're going to try and go into atmospheres and we want to get close to stuff. We're not trying to do long range anything, which would mean...
I mean, I was hoping to do a little both since we have so many sensor upgrades already with we have 3, 4.
Yeah, so we start with depth analyzer, right? And then we do something like surface sensor area. No, and yeah, depth analyzer and surface sensor, I think.
Yeah.
We get 4, right? Like 4, like
yeah.
4
So we
of
could
these?
go. So we could go all the way to 3 on depth, and then 1 on survey, or 2 and 2, and that would give us a good amount of, let's figure out what's weird about this area and then go there and figure it out.
Sure. Yeah, like I was gonna do like 2 depth, 1 surface, 1 area. Would be my recommendation.
I think in general, it would be good to have a good spread of everything to start, just so, because we don't really know, at least I don't really know how those things will come up in play necessarily.
Yeah.
So I would want to have options, I guess. I mean, it's
One
kind
of
of fun
everything? Since
it's
we
kind
have
of fun
4.
to not, but
One of everything was my initial thought too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do it if you guys want to do it.
I say one of everything.
And we can always
then
upgrade.
And we upgrade later. That's
Yeah.
it.
I do have a suggestion on this front.
Sure.
One of the things I think it says in there, but it's probably hidden, is that when you use gear, you have to spend a charge, and you get that number of dice in whatever mod you're using. So min-maxing means you spend 1 charge and get 3 things, while if you generalize, you spend 1 charge to get 1 thing.
Yeah,
But
that's
then you're
true.
Aha!
I never
The
went over the
designer backing
mechanics.
me up.
Yeah, I never went over the actual mechanics of this game of how things are rolled. But ostensibly, everyone who's watching this has already watched the first episode of the game, and they would know.
But yeah, so the depth analyzer is tight scans of a single target, which feels like a lot of the things that we would want to do. Or the surface sensor, which is like kind of survey type stuff, which is let's find the interesting thing.
I mean, so I think you're limiting it a little bit. Like area of effect, like a lot of depth is useful when we've already found what we want to scan. Area of effect is actually finding it, right?
No, surface sensor is, because area effect extends the surface sensor, right?
Well, that's what I mean, right? So like one without the other is somewhat limited in its usefulness. Like that's what I was saying, 1 surface, 1 area, 2 depth. We have enough to like find the thing efficiently, and then once we've actually got it, we can figure out what's weird about it.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to like that. Like the area effect is kind of like, because you can only spend 1 charge on 1 mod ever, area effect allows you to get more area with any of the others. So it's kind of a combination one. So in general, the mods are kind of in order that are of significance in a lot of ways. So like survey sensor and depth analyzer are probably more important than the ones below them in some ways.
So 1 survey, 2 depth, 1 area sound good?
I love that
Look,
shrug from Ben.
I don't know what these words mean. I mean, I know what these words are.
Yeah.
I just mean functionally, I don't know how it'll actually play out. So I guess I'm not to be indifferent, but I don't really know until we kind of get into it. That's why I was recommending more diffuse.
What's the use case of a depth analyzer?
Okay, so if you want to scan an alien ship to see what's aboard the alien ship, you use a depth analyzer. If you want to look for an alien ship, that's a survey sensor. If you want to expand the area that you're scanning and get extra dice to deal with the fact you get a bunch of negative dice, then you would add area to it.
That's
at the depth.
Yeah, that's why I like getting the one surface, 2 depth, 1. Actually, now that we're talking about it, I more want to say 2 surface, 1 depth, 1 area.
I
If that
like
works.
keeping 2 depth because that seems like the more information. Like once you've found
Sure,
it,
I just finding the thing seems like there are more ways to deal with the situation. More what I'm saying, I guess, is I would rather have the dice to effectively and reliably find the thing because there are more solutions to figuring out what's inside the thing than just scanning it. Where finding it is a lot more like that's pretty much your only main option, right? I'd rather that be reliable than finding out what's inside.
sure. So you want to like front load the first of the linked rolls.
Yeah,
To discover
essentially.
stuff. Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yep, done.
Cool.
All right.
Also, Christoph, I have survey sensor on the character sheet, but surface sensor on page 126 of this PDF, just in case that
Okay.
is not
You
intentional.
might be looking at a difference between the skill and the specialty and the.
This says 4 upgradable mods, and the first one is surface sensor.
I mean, Grab
But-
Drive is...
What page?
You know, whatever. 126 of this PDF. So you can take a look. It's not a big deal to me, and Grav Drive is next. And we definitely want atmosphere thrusters, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. We get
So how
5.
far do we want to go? Yeah.
Between orbital bodies, mob provides precision calculating between orbital displacement.
I like boosting it to go underwater or deep within places like where other ships can't. Like
Yeah,
yes.
like atmosphere thrusters, I think should be our primary.
yeah. And also, if we don't have guns, we can avoid people by going into these more dangerous places.
Yep. Totally.
Stop heading in the asteroids.
So wake generator is just we can tow things, which we might have to do if we want to take back something we found occasionally. So like 2 and 1 for the rest, like 2, 1, 1, 1 makes sense to me. Or let's see.
If we have no dice, how bad is that?
Okay, so this is the tools you're using. You can always roll with your skills.
Yeah.
So say
Okay.
you're the best pilot in the universe and you have like all the dice in that, so you get like 6 dice for like every roll. You're gonna roll 6 dice and then you can spend a charge to get the extra stuff from this. So
I guess what I'm kind of wanting to do is front load our ability to use the thing, like so everyone, if in a pinch, can like front load their like atmospheric thrusters and stuff, and then whoever's actually like trained to do this can get a few extra dice. Does that make sense?
Like you're making sure everyone's good at their job, but helping
More
in the initial.
making sure everyone can use the thing. So like everyone, regardless of whether you're like trained to do it, could get 2 dice with the atmospheric sensor, with the atmospheric, what's it called? Atmospheric thrusters,
Sure.
or the surface sensor. Like that, like the person that's trained in that doesn't necessarily need all those dice, but it's useful. Where the rest, like they can probably function with. Does that make sense? I just want to make sure all of us can fly our ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 2 for thrusters, 1 for injectors, 1 for inducers, and 1 for generators.
That would be my opinion, but I'm cool to suggestions.
I don't want to not have any of this, but also
I'd rather
like-
have 3 for thrusters if I could.
But I'm not. What would you not take then?
I'm bad at hard decisions.
So one of the things is you still have those things. The drive.
we still have them.
Things.
Yeah.
You don't get extra dice unless
So-
you spend 2 charge. Then you get 1 die.
So maybe we can say it like, what bonus would you like to not have, instead of saying that we're losing a thing.
That's fair.
It's the what bonus would you like to not have?
I in that case I do 3 atmospheric thrusters, 1 orbital injector, 1 fold inducer, and not take the wake generator, or
Yeah.
not take
I
the
would
fold
get-
inducer.
I would get rid of the inducer.
I'm okay with
because-
that.
Yeah, because we still have it, but I like to be, since the kinds of jobs that we're going are like exploration and discovery, pulling something might be very useful.
It's more just that the fold inducer is what helps with astronavigation.
Mhm.
which is a big thing to me.
Sure.
I like the orbital injector actually might be my like one to cut
Oh, thanks.
out of those, because wake generator, I would very much like to be able to actually take things we find back to people that need them, and then the other ones allowing us to navigate.
Yeah, and remember, like we
others.
still have these abilities. It's just we
Yeah.
don't have that bonus.
Yeah, I think it's I think atmospheric thrusters, orbital injectors, and fold inducer, not take wake generator is the best call. I think.
I like being able to tow things.
Sure, we still can.
So,
I think we're going to do it less often.
So since we're both on either sides, Ben and Adam, what do you think?
I'm reading the orbital injectors right now. It seems mostly like a piloting type tool, and I would wager that one of us is going to be like the pilot or an exceptionally skilled focused pilot. So that one seems to be the one to kind of kill to me.
Okay, so now I have 3 different choices. Adam.
I've got my 3 atmospheric thrusters as far as I'm concerned.
So what are you cutting? Just pick one then.
I'm going to cut orbital injectors and give 1 fold inducer and 1 wake generator.
Okay.
Cool.
Woo!
We did it.
Moving on.
Right. And I think we did.
Pulse array is easy.
We don't have one.
That's right. We don't have any bonuses. No bonuses.
Oh, I thought we just didn't have one.
Well, it probably doesn't really work, or you're the only person who knows how it works.
If we have one on the ship, I'll get it running. Like, that's
it'll
that's
do
just gonna happen.
something.
And between now and our game, if there's some like obvious change we want to make, like we can totally do that. It's the same reason why I'm not necessarily like being a super stickler right now and coming up with how we're displacing our tons around the sections of the ship and stuff like that. Yeah. But like, are we ready to continue?
Yeah, on shields, I kind of just want to do 2 kinetic deflector and fuck energy displacer, holo projector, multi-field. Multi-field I like, but not for our ship. Multi-field's just a cool idea. I just like that as a thing. Being able to like turn your entire ship and like extend its shields over like a town or something is rad. Energy displacement, I'm more worried about us like crashing or getting stuck in like asteroids than being shot at.
Yeah, kinetic is definitely this ship's mission to deal with, and everything else is like, that's cool, but
I'm also going to take shield engineer, so like I'm cool, happy to be like, oh, we're being shot at, jury rig shit. I'm cool with that.
So how many points do we have in shields?
2.
2?
Which is why I was just saying 2, front load it in kinetic deflector.
I want to make sure. And then we can get more eventually depending on how we build our characters.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
Cool. Then I think we're just missing reactor. I don't know where that is. Reactor's up there.
Christoph is saying we don't get points for the ship later.
Oh, I might have misread something. I thought when we take what's it called?
No, character stuff goes to your personal tools.
So
remember stuff. So you have a personal shield, you have a personal reactor.
I see.
You have a multi-tool.
I read shield and reactor and immediately assumed, oh, that because they come with like the mechanic thing. I was like, oh, that comes with the ship. Okay.
I think you still get a couple of free points too that Eric's about to introduce.
Yeah.
So for shields, then can we do 1 kinetic and 1 holo projector? Since we don't have weapons and hiding and running seems to be a thing that we decided earlier. I think being able to hide ourselves would help that.
I'm honestly with me, like I won't get a point for taking the shield thing, but I'm still going to be the shield engineer, so I'm happy to like jury rig our thing to do that and just make a character that's good at doing that. Rather, so like I guess.
So are you saying you don't want that, or you are okay with that?
I am more interested in making sure our ship can survive a crash than making sure we can do the hiding. We're good at hiding. I'm okay being only okay at hiding, if that makes sense, because that's interesting.
We also have our extra 7 points.
Oh yeah, shit.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All right. We're getting all like finicky about stuff. I'm like,
I know.
Everything seems so cool and I want to have it all, and I'm just
You have 7 more that you can spend on system slots or armor slots until you have a total of 23 choices.
But I kind of wanted to
Which includes
do
the base.
the initial ones to talk about our main, and we also have a laboratory upgrade,
Yes.
which is Biograv or Mech.
So as your mechanic,
As your research scientist, I was leaning toward.
May or may not be biased.
I feel like our characters may be like Spock and McCoy. Are those the two?
I mean, I think
Or is
of
it-
my character as Angry Geordie.
Bones
it-
and George.
Angry Geordie is how I picture.
Okay.
So workbenches, cranes, specialized tools. This lab enables work with nearly any type of archaic technology, refined materials, and robotics. I mean, I really like Mech Lab. That's
My
really
push for the biolab was that if we're going to a whole bunch of different new places, being able to adapt to those specific biomes and
sure
situations.
But I guess the biolab is cool. The mech lab will just be able, like, rather than like take samples and analyze them, we can work on like vehicles if we ever get them with the mech lab, and like things like that too.
Do we? Ben and Adam, what are you guys thinking? I feel
Well,
like
I keep complicating things because I was like, the Grav Lab.
Yeah, but fuck it, I don't.
So, I don't know. If I was to do this myself, like if I was just to wave it, I would probably literally just roll like every single element of it somewhat randomly, but that's not very fun.
I mean,
So I think of the
fun.
two, I would probably agree with Mech Lab just because I can, as a scout, I care more about like making sure our drones or whatever are functional and making sure our like spacesuits are functional.
Yeah, like if we don't already have one, I'm planning on getting like a vehicle to like launch down for us and stuff. So
Sure.
yeah.
So we're more of a robotics and safer people, because as someone who works with Soul, I was picturing like the gritty rebels. So I guess we're leading in more of a mechanical security area.
Gritty
instead?
rebels can make some killer ass robots. Is what I would say.
Ancient artifacts is the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess does Mech Lab work? Is that a thing people are okay with?
We can do back lab because we also have points for stuff. And
Well, let me ask you guys. I should be asking you guys some leading questions here. So I don't want to like interfere with like you guys should be doing this in your ship and all these things, right? Like this is your ship. But like when you guys want to be a scout, like what are the things that are super interesting to you? Like, do you want to really explore like cool like phenomena, like physical and space-time phenomena stuff? Do you want to be like pathfinders, finding new like trade routes, or trying to like reconnect with lost civilizations or things that happened on like finding new paths for people? Are you like
Space Indiana Jones?
are you Space Indiana Jones recovering lost relics and stuff like that? And what does that mean that are lost relics? Like are they like relics from the exploration war that you were trying to recover? Like that kind of stuff, right?
So I'm personally much more interested in like exploring like charting alien planets more than like alien planets, and I'm really just charting both alien planets and like space roads, whatever they're called. I always blank on like how you would actually say that, like the like space
Star
charts.
seas?
Star seas, like the star, like charting star charts or planets. Like that's my area of interest, not necessarily for my character, but my me as a person hearing stuff about new planets and new ways to navigate are things that are interesting to me.
Yeah, I think I'm the least interested in like fighting the alien of the week.
Yeah.
So
No.
I'm the most interested in like actual space stuff. So whatever is the, like I want to find the random black pyramid floating in the middle of space and go and look at that thing. Like those are the kinds of things I'm looking at. So somewhere between Indiana Jones without the fighting the local indigenous population and
Space Nazis. I hate those guys.
Yeah. And
They're almost as bad as real Nazis.
like scouts, like No Man's Sky, I know as one of the listed what's what I'm looking for, inspirations that Christoph listed in the book. So something like that, where you may go to 20 planets and see nothing more interesting than a cow, but the planet itself is
Exactly.
Right.
Going to different new planets and charting them, and being like, wow, what the why does this planet function this way?
See,
And
I want to find out about that space cow. Like,
well,
that's what I'm here for.
We could have people on here that do both because
a xenobiologist seems like a very good thing to have on a sorry. Continue.
Totally.
My hope is to go to all these crazy planets and keep our ship together and our equipment ready so that we can explore those things. And so like that's my character's goal. Like, just wants to keep us all functioning and doing our jobs.
I just want to be able to do stuff once we get there. Like, I understand where you're coming from completely. I just want to be able to do stuff. It's like you mentioned, we talked about like front loading, getting there and staying secure. Like, but we're scouts. Right. We go dangerous places. We do dangerous things.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
We're gonna get hurt.
You're witnessing.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I don't care if we're safe when we get there. I just want to make sure we get there and like effectively. The getting there is the part that I worry about. And like, that's, I want to make sure we can actually do our jobs. I don't want to be bad at the exploring part.
Yeah. Well, I think of a lot of things that like what happened as scenarios in Star Trek, right? Like witnessing the two degrading orbits of binary stars, and like observing that kind of stuff, and like or finding those out and finding a way to get those, and like discovering cool things, and then additionally like cool planets, and like why would you go there? Well, we're going there because of and like why our patron needs us there. Versus like also our personal kind of things of why we're there. I'm just trying to think of ahead because once I get a better idea of like the type of story you want to tell, then you should pick things for your ship that also help.
Honestly, if some rich asshole pays us to go find the perfect spot for his new villa on an uncharted planet, I'm okay with that. It's fine.
That's cool. The first thing I thought of was that, you're trying to locate new aliens to turn into makeup.
There's a certain way people build their houses on one planet that makes like the perfect shade of blue. So we have to grind up their houses after they've been there for 10 years.
You're really into the shells thing, the nautili.
I know what you're talking about. Why would you say that, Eric?
So
it's pre-game chatter.
Astro-Phoenicians.
Yes. Yes.
But all right, so getting back on, I think that's
Mech Lab, and then 7 more upgrade points.
Yes.
Cool.
Upgrade /shield points.
/shield points. I mean, I'm just looking at like amenities and stuff too.
So, charge pulse is a gun, right? Space targeter. Space battle, surface targeter, tractor lifter, tractor beam.
Okay, I've had confusion on this. So charge pulse, you see that it's a little triangle?
I did see it was different.
Yeah, that's because it increases the damage you do by the base number. So the base number is 2, and then you get damage for how good you roll in the dice. And then if you spend charge, you get 2 for each of those. So if you roll 6, you get +6 damage whenever you spend charge.
Okay.
The space targeters for shooting things in space, and surface targeters for shooting things on the ground, tractor lifters for lifting things.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were to get like fucking Biolab, GravLab too, like I'm cool with both, like all of them. Like,
is that 1 point for each lab then?
You aren't really supposed to spend these points on the labs, but you guys could buy them immediately before leaving. It could be one of the things you do.
That's all right. Noted.
They're just way cheaper, so if you did that, it would cost you way more in the future to upgrade.
Sure. Okay, then like putting some points into hollow projector and multi-field seem good. I don't really care how many. Putting some points. Put wave generator seems like you could jury rig that to act like one.
If you're gonna do that, then we need tractor lifter too, right? Like if the whole point is we're gonna take this thing off the planet and pull it somewhere, we probably want to pick it up.
Yeah. And if you're in space and you have the opportunity to get a tractor beam and you don't get an opportunity and you're on a soul ship.
Us taking pulse array just so we can get tractor lifter seems like a fine choice.
Yeah.
Like we have a gun, but it's modular and we use it for a tractor beam.
It's a reverse gun.
Yeah.
A big vacuum.
Do we go 3 and 3 for tractor lifter weight generator and just be like we throw things around at people if we have to defend ourselves?
I mean, I like picking up rocks and being like throwing them in front of
Yeah.
them.
Oh, we can still shoot stuff, but
Yeah, this is just bonuses, right? And these only kick in when we spend charge, right, Christoph?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have like a small mining laser for sampling.
So,
Weapon.
essentially, we could. I think that's what our pulse array is.
Holo projector, multi-field, that's 2 points. 1 more point in wake generator, and then 2 in tractor lifter, so we get 2 left. Is that what that was?
I was hoping for 3 in tractor and 3 in wake, just to see the crazy things that
I
happen.
don't need that many. I'll need that
Because
many.
I'm crazy like that, and you're no fun. You're gonna ask for it the first time you roll and not get it.
What if we put 1 extra point in one of them? Would you rather have 3 in wake or 3 in tractor?
I'd rather have 2 in depth analyzer, or 3 in survey. 3 in survey.
4 hours later.
No,
I think
I
we
don't
use.
like. I just don't like ones. Ones in these things feel like a waste because if we're gonna spend
The scout.
I feel
we'll
like
have-
using the. I was just gonna. I think using the 2 for depth analyzer and surface are fine. The last 2 that you mentioned.
Yeah. So that would spend all of our 7 points.
Okay, so name it again.
Holo projector, 1. Multi-field, 1. The second point in wake generator. 2 in tractor lifter. There was 1 more in multi-field. And then,
Yeah, but my mouse won't work apparently.
okay. I'll do it. Oh, neither will mine.
All right. I guess we're not taking multi.
Not doing multi-field. Then 1 more in depth analyzer, and then what was it? 1 more in survey?
Surface sensor.
Yeah. And then we'll all just remember that we have 1 in multi-field.
We have 3 in multi-field. I don't know what you're talking about. We just couldn't click it. I think there's something wrong with the character sheet.
Cool. So those are our points.
We did it.
We did it. And I got my mech bay. Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
We're all done, Eric, right? That's it.
That's the game.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm looking to see if there is. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, multi-field is not doing that. That's weird. That works.
So we have 1 in multi-field, though, right?
That is correct. That's the intention, anyway.
I'm trying to see if there's like one special like part of it that you can click that will turn it on.
Yeah, like there's a pixel.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to find a pixel.
I tried it, Eric. I believe you me.
Okay. All right.
So
check.
So what's
I'll look into that. It broke before, and I think something got reverted or something.
It'll be fine. We have it on record. We recorded this. We also have
that's fair.
AI and ship designation, and like we have several other things.
These are the next steps. What's up, Alice?
If someone wanted to create either AI or robots, what would be the skills for that? Just out of curiosity. Also, AI robots.
Hypothetically,
so
just crazy random happenstance.
Yeah. So creating AI would be pretty difficult.
Sure.
So the setting. I just want to real quickly describe the setting and how like it already has a couple things that you might find already interesting. Which is why. So
Sure.
Your ship comes with an AI, but you also have a personal sort of stance to like combining the network. It's called a PAN, your personal area network. And so when you connect to the AI, you kind of already have this sort of customizable interface with it in a way that like you can kind of go wild with.
Oh my god, that's so good.
So I'm
gonna make mine like, have a personality and everything. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. So
it's like super space Alexa.
Yep. I'm gonna my character's all of a sudden gonna go her on us real quick. Like just gonna fall in love with the goddamn Google Maps. It's gonna happen.
Stupid, sexy Google Maps.
Yeah.
Look.
Okay.
I think we probably want. I don't think we really want the FRS scout designation, but we also really. I don't feel like free spatial ship really works. Probably independent contingency vessel, the ICV, designation makes most sense for us.
Yeah. Also,
What are those?
also, I love the idea that human-made ships, even though they are free spacers and patron, they do not adopt the free spacer ship or fleet reconnaissance vehicle. They are always independent. That is the like, oh, you're a soul. Solas are always ICV because that's super spiteful.
Designations like USS,
Oh my
whatever.
God. Right. Well, maybe not
ESS,
Yeah.
Earth,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Soul. SSS?
SS. Oh,
That's
what it sounds like,
That's
yes.
the snake. We're actually snake people.
it'd be fun if there were soul ships bought by like other organizations that have no soul people on them just to cover as independent.
So remember,
That's what we
yeah.
should talk.
So you guys aren't just so free spacer ships are like it's kind of like its own special separate entity of the world. Free spacers, you are sort of exceptional individuals in a variety of ways. So a free spacer ship isn't just like a human class ship. It has sort of been promoted to be part of the free spacer kind of program. And because of that, it might have a different prefix than like just a general soul class kind of ship, which is why. But I wanted to bring that up because maybe a human free spacer ship doesn't, as like that's a thing, and it just adopts the regular Soul Alliance part, even though it is a free spacer ship, because of spite or something. I don't know. I just want to bring that up.
And does this designation kick in like with how other ships perceive or react to us? Like, what is the narrative implications of the designation?
Yeah. It definitely could, especially if you're going through different like operating space. Like, if you're a lawful recovery ship, that makes more sense if you're hanging around salvage than someone else being like, "What are you doing here?"
Being designated exploratory vessel makes sense in some capacity. Like, however that comes across as being like not necessarily like military, but
I mean, Dev is actually a great designated exploratory vessel. Isn't bad.
yeah, I kind of like that actually.
So that's the proper name of the ship. So DEV blah. What's the?
So I have a name I always like for ships, but that's because I'm a mechanic and I always like this type of imagery for my ships. And I play mechanics a lot when I'm in space. I always would call ships the Chimera. The DEV Chimera is my go-to because I always like the idea of hodgepodging ships together, and like that's how I keep my ships flying. Because
as a group of a bunch of random different alien races as well, which is something we're thinking about, that kind of makes sense too.
Yeah, I like
anyways, that's my name recommendation.
So all right.
DEV Chimera. Ada, are you cool with that name?
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I was still beat. I was like, yeah, it's
Cool.
starting.
So we are the Chimera.
But I cannot put DEV because designation is a drop down.
That's fair. We are already breaking Christoph's game. He's like, we're doing so much work. That's fine.
But we know that it's DEV because of course we do. I'm going to make it ICV because that remind me.
So what's the designation ahead of the word?
DEV, designated exploratory vessel.
Okay.
It's like ISS or USS or.
Can I make
whatever.
a request that it's the Jin Chimera, which is silver in Japanese?
Yeah. I like it, but it's not my ship. It's your ship. GIN?
GIN, yes.
Are you talking about part of the name or is that the designation?
Part of the name, or
yeah.
I mean, if it's like a silver class scout ship, that could be a thing.
Oh yeah. It's the DEV Jin Chimera. GIN, you said?
GIN, yeah.
Okay.
Jin Chimera.
Yeah.
It's the silver. Yeah.
Cool.
Dig it. Reminds me of booze,
It's there's also a brand of gin that's prone to, like, if you drink too much you start seeing like scales on your arms, so
I mean, the I think it's the Ryojin, which is Silver Dragon, is what I name a lot of my spaceships. So the fact that you're just bringing up scales for no reason.
Can't be.
Okay.
It
Sure,
can't.
like
It can't. It
Did I
can't
say
be.
that out loud?
No, it can't be a whiskey class ship unless it was barrel aged.
Boo. So should it be the Jin Chimera or the Chimera Jin then?
Jin Chimera. Well, Jin Chimera, because silver,
Okay.
as you know,
I'm-
preemptive
yeah.
adjectives for a descriptive noun.
And then we need patron.
Yeah. So now we talk about a patron. So this is the sponsor for your crew. They're the one who's providing you with your Corvette here, and sort of the one managing and administering your contracts. What are we thinking about our patron here? Now that should I bring us back over to our stuff about space? Our
Well,
notes
sure,
about the
but
Orion sector.
I've got a random one, which is some soul syndicate that is looking for new things that can be used for drugs. And so it's just anything that could potentially have some weird mind-altering effect. And they're like, just go out and find us crazy.
I don't know if I'm up for that actually.
New pharmaceuticals.
I don't
sure.
know
is
if
totally
I love that.
You also want mech stuff too, right? And
I
so
do want
you
mech
think
stuff.
you're looking for totally sweet artifacts.
What
Like
if it's
artifacts
something-
slash like building materials or whatever.
Yeah. What if it's something incredibly vain, like paint mods or just slick bioluminescent shielding that will survive in space that you can make designs on with buildings and people's wear.
My
way
suggestion
we
was
can-
makeup.
Yeah.
I might have to tell the story of the first Chimera real quick. So the first time I ever used this was for a Stars Without Number game, and the reason we called it a Chimera is because one, it was a hodgepodge ship, but also it had like we paid extra money to have it painted this weird holographic paint so that it had different animals on it depending on where you looked at it. If you looked at a very specific spot, it looks like a Chimera.
That is cool.
Okay. So I'm writing down different things that we could be potentially wanting. We said drugs, paint.
We're gonna
What if it's like sorry,
Okay,
what
we're
if it's
Xing drugs. Okay.
Yeah.
called cutting edge biologicals? Like that can just cover their the
CED.
umbrella corp of that.
I mean, okay. Like biomaterial science.
Yeah.
Like the idea of using new biomaterials found on alien worlds for improving like new colored paints.
Yeah.
Things for your ships, like anything.
Keeping you useful.
Like practical industrial applications of new things.
Also, occasionally, new and exciting retail products.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, yeah, you're looking for the new base materials, like the next plastic, like the next anything for like the next technologies.
I'm super excited to be like, new mineral, what can I make out of this?
Yeah.
Take it to Tech Lab or Mech Lab.
And also how you can genetically change people, because the way my person who you haven't met is that their species is one way and then they kind of adapted themselves to become a spacer. So finding new genetic material to mix into that, like the new fashion's zebra fur on your skin. Like it's
that's cool.
Yeah.
I like the idea of, because it sounds like we're all sort of circling around the similar concept of like finding something that's sellable or like valuable. So, but our ship is so small, even though it has like good hauling capabilities, I feel like it's almost that the information itself is what's valuable, not so much finding. So it's like we're locating it, and then our patron like auctions off where that location is.
We find it, send back samples rather than like take back whole hauls of cargo.
Exactly.
That's a lot of tons.
Not in space talk. It's not.
Like, not space tons.
It's like a pinch of sand.
Right. No, I like that a lot. So we're looking. So our patron is hiring us for these things because they're the ones who have the connections for manufacturers and the great like business side of things. They just need us to go out and bring samples for proof of concept stuff. So
such a capitalist
spacing. So what is the standing of our patron? Are they like a disgraced individual? Are they or a disgraced? Well, first off, are they a corporation, or are they something else?
There's a Japanese makeup company that after 146 years has stopped making some of their materials and is now catering towards like the younger generations, and that's like big news. So I think they are being forced to adapt. Like they made it through the war fine, but now that it's after the war, like all of these things are plentiful and they need to find like a new niche because businesses are coming up, like small mom and pop local artisanal makeup factories or biogenetically enhancing factories, and they're being forced to adapt.
Is this lateral
about that?
I think we're Soul.
Our original thought was Soul Alliance, but like that could be something else.
Soul is good. I like Soul.
I think I like the idea that it's sort of a front. So I like the idea that it appears on the surface to be a legitimate corporation, but it's actually funding maybe something else. Maybe something militant or spy or.
I would say like this could be our front too, right? Like we're doing other shit while doing like we don't have like this is our day job, and then we're doing whatever else that comes our way that could give us money.
And also, if you can have your spies disguise themselves as other people or species, that's a big leg up. So it could be the same things, but just used in spy ways.
Different applications.
So like
crimes.
So like the
space crimes.
Yes.
The job that we've been given is, hey folks, go out and find us stuff that could potentially make us any kind of money at all. And we're kind of that knows all sorts of different ways that things can be made.
We're just a bunch of different capitalists. They're like, oh, I have this area expertise. I have this area. What makes money?
Yeah. I mean, you're literally like venture capital. Like you're paid by venture capitalists. Yeah, I'm thinking something. I'm trying to. I was trying to stretch that. Adventure capitalists. Yeah.
You just have to say the word longer in the front, then the joke really lands.
Yeah. That's what I was doing wrong. Yeah, cool.
We had a name and a port.
Yep. So we need a name for this patron, this company.
The CEB sounded fine to me. But like we could stand for something else, but like that acronym isn't bad in my opinion.
Totally. They probably have a really nice port at their galactic headquarters or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first thing I think of is like those are 3 last names.
Yeah.
Yes. 3 family names of mob families.
Goddamn mobsters.
Humans.
Something like Chang, Erdecker, Barando Company, or like like what's really good combining either some like Wayland Yutani, like East West is typically pretty good as far as like cyberpunk names go.
Yep.
So 3 of them is also good. I'll just put CEB for now. We'll figure it out. Homeport.
Everyone calls them the CEB anyways.
Yeah.
Where are they so Homeport is where their patron makes home. They typically you can probably go there, and like not have your home base is kind of there.
Mars.
Yeah.
I don't know. First thing I thought of.
I like it.
Yeah, Mars.
It can't be Earth, but Earth's right there if you ever want to do shore leave.
Like Earth is the suburbs where everyone was trapped, and then they moved away, and everyone's like, "Oh wait, no, space is dumb." But they're close enough.
Yeah.
I imagine that they're like factories actually like orbiting Mars, but like that's where a bunch of like manufacturing takes place.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But the headquarters isn't really the factory, right? The headquarters.
Well, that's what I mean. Like the headquarters is orbiting. The actual manufacturing is on the surface.
So Christoph is saying it's supposed to be the type of place it is, not where it is.
Can we have some examples?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, so I was thinking.
I was thinking about like a fancy business corporate headquarters. They're all on the up and up. It's a very rich corporation. They have lots of little scout ship type people doing this kind of stuff because the galaxy's a big place. And they've got, big docks where you could come in and fancy people that will come help you out. And if you're on the up and up, if you're having a good time, then they're like, oh, come over here and try our most recent product. It's fizzy, but it's not actually carbonated type of thing.
Right.
So just a
really swanky orbital headquarters.
It's swanky.
Exactly.
It's swanky, but it's impersonal because they hire so many of your
totally.
types to do it.
QA?
Yeah, it is. No, it's exactly what it is. It's like here's your free cereal bar and unlimited, hot chocolate and coffee, and it's a nice view of Mars and stuff. But they don't care who you are at all.
Fuck.
Right. They say hello, welcome back, and they look down at their sheet and they're like, I don't know how to pronounce this.
Right.
All of your robes have little embroidery marks, so they're like, oh, they're very personal. Like there's all these very customized things, but it's not.
Yeah. So
we really made Space America. Dang it.
It's okay. I'm sure we'll accidentally blow it up.
Yeah, I think competition, like even intra-corporate competition, is going to be a theme for other ships, right? I think that makes sense because you are all looking for things, and so if you're all following up leads, there might be redundancy, or people might, like those. It seems like this is adventure capitalistic. It's a little bit more cutthroat than just like you have to race there to beat other people, kind of stuff. Is that what we're into, or should we focus less on that and more on the novelty of the isolation aspects of exploration?
I like the novelty of it, that there are so many things to explore. Like there can still be a danger. Like if you have a hint of something, there can be somebody else racing towards it. I just don't want that to be like the default, that we're always under a time pressure thing.
Sure.
I feel like space is so big that the time that we see somebody else working for the same corporation is that we're sent to a planet and we get there and we find some stuff, and we also find the crash landed ship of like some scout that was sent there before and that had just been garbage collected. Like whoever was the secretary that sent them out before totally forgot about them. They never showed up again. They're like, whatever, we'll just send another person.
They wrote off that one. Yeah, that's a good question. How, just for a general like threat level and danger level of this, like how dangerous is being a scout? Like how like desperate are we? You know what I mean?
I don't think like desperation is the thing. I think it can be dangerous, but I don't think we're like, oh god, we need to do this. It's all like, I don't think it's like
random. Like it feels
it's
like you don't know.
Some days it's like standard thing. Some days it's that planet that material's on that we were thinking would be useful for X product. Yeah, that everyone's after that right now, and people are getting gunned down for going near it.
That one's actually in a decaying orbit to a black hole.
Yeah,
we're not going there anymore.
I was about to like pull it into a nebula, and I was like,
I think the clearest thing is like a risk versus reward. So like the short-term rewards that are more immediately useful to the corporation would be riskier and more hotly contested, and the stuff that's more philosophically interesting and long-term valuable might not be as risky. But
it depends on the type of thing you're going after, right? If you're going for the quick payday or the like, sometimes you have to search for the thing that like no one else realizes is valuable until you realize it is.
Okay, cool. So I think that's pretty good. I could probably just come up like. So do you guys want to come up with a handler, or is that something you could probably leave to me and stuff, and for your letter
too
of
corporate.
marque?
We wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Like honestly, they probably don't have a name.
No, like, they have a name we like talk. Like I just feel
it's like Twitch. Like you're given a
exactly.
If a partner person, but they also like each of them has like 100 people. Only think of that extrapolated into space.
Like I think we like know their name.
Overwork.
It's not a personal relationship.
Yeah.
You can have a very impersonal relationship. At least know their name.
Yeah. So I imagine whoever you have is like, or it's like either it's like an AI or like it's overworked. Like there's some sort of like it's not, they're not as reliable as you would want them to be.
I'm getting the too real thing for I work at a bakery, and like people come in, they're like, "Oh, hi, Jane, how are you doing?" I'm like, "Uh-huh. I don't know who you are, but I recognize you."
Cool.
I just
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you don't remember me? It's like, I don't know.
I came here 3 months ago.
Oh yeah, your zebra skin ship. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, what's up? Like that's remember. Like so, yeah. Someone has the mind refresher thing.
Mhm.
All right, cool. So I think we have enough for that. The letter of marque, I think we could probably gloss over, as well as the configuration of our ship. And because like as far as time goes, we should definitely do crew commission, and I rather just hit that right now than so much as keep nailing out the details of the finalities.
If you write up letter of marque for the first streamed episode, we should probably read it as kind of an intro, because it covers a ton of stuff. So
exactly, I think that's kind of my intention for the first episode was that anyways, of like giving you the first kind of contract and going rather than doing the whole like negotiating step. But we will do that for I kind of want to do like 3 missions or so in terms of the pace for the game, which is why I wanted to like see that though. But for the first one, I really want to get us into the action right away, especially because we've just been like talking so much about this game and setting everything up. I really just want to jump into it. So we don't hear you at all, Adam. Wait, now we just did.
I don't know. Ha! Crew at page 22 is the next thing.
Yes.
Right?
So we are going to be commissioning our crew here. Okay. So this is when we actually get to make our characters. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I can. I just was getting a lot of like lag and artifacts for a second. I don't know if anybody else was.
Oh. Yeah.
Adam disappeared for a second, but who knows what that was.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Seems better now. I think we're okay.
Page 22, you said?
Yep. Yeah. So the first thing you do is you start divvying up your departments for your crew. I guess we kind of skip species and aliens and stuff, but that's okay. We can do most of this now, and then near the end of it, it's going to be an issue. But we'll go back for what traits and stuff like for your character. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So what we do for the crew, you're going to choose 2 stations, and they should be on your character sheets there. So let's see, they're also listed somewhere, I think. Yeah, so there's two like groups, or excuse me, 3 kind of groups. There's the there's comms, communications, there's operations, and there's engineering, right? So what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna be choosing 2 of the subsets of those 3 categories. So just quickly, if you're watching this and you want to know what they are, like under comm station here. So once again, there's 3 departments. The comm station department is linguist, quartermaster, researcher, logistics officer, steward. Operations is recon, marine, sensor analysis, surveyor, pilot, and then engineering is doctor, shield engineer, programmer, gunner, and mechanic. And each of those comes with an expertise in a skill type, and as well as a sort of secondary thing that they're trained in, as well as tool selection stuff. Your personal gear gets augmented based on your job, your role, I should say, your role. You get to
Alice, you already had a plan for this, right? What was your plan?
You're muted.
Yeah, so I was thinking either mechanic shield engineer or mechanic programmer, or might 2.
I just want to not be an engineer because I'm an engineer in real life, and that's no fun.
I am not an engineer, but I always play space engineers. They always have lots of fun.
Okay, so we pick 2 under a department, not 1 under a each under a different department?
No, I think you can just choose whichever you want. I'm just picking 2 of it under the same.
Yeah, so you can pick any 2 you want.
Okay.
It is suggested that each of you chooses 1 ship station, and the ship stations are listed in the gray box there. They're pilot, shield, engineer, gunner, and sensor analyst.
Where? Oh, I see.
That ensures that you always have something to do on board ship, because if you choose a recon marine, then you're just waiting to see when they ram into something so you can do something. Or using skills that you're not as good at to cover, which is also fine.
So, I mean, like, I don't know what other type of characters anyone else are like thinking about playing. So like shield engineer mechanics sort of falls under the same, my job is to keep the ship running. Like it's sort of the same umbrella.
Does anybody else want to be, so it sounds like sensor analyst, pilot, gunner. We might have a very sad gunner with our existing situation. Does anybody else want to be pilot? Or can I steal that?
Where are these? I don't...
It's under ship stations. It's great on
the gray box at the beginning.
24.
Yeah, it's 24 just before the summary.
Okay.
Shield engineer, sensor analyst, pilot, gunner.
I see. Ship engineer then. Yeah.
Shield engineer.
You're good. Does anybody else want to be pilot, or can I take that and then I'll take some random thing?
I think it makes sense for the pilot to also be the gunner, maybe. If it's a scout ship, it's kind of like small, or is that?
Since there's 4 of us, we would each take one of those things.
Yeah.
And then, so those are the things that we should all have, because that's the things that's to do with on the ship.
You're right.
Okay.
And it doesn't make sense necessarily for the pilot to be the gunner, depending on what tradition you're from. I like to look at spaceships in terms of submariner service, and then the pilot's very much not the gunner.
Sure,
right?
yeah, that makes sense.
So Ben, did you want to be a gunner or a sensor analyst? Any of those calling out to you?
Well, since we're not really shooting stuff too much, I could be the gunner then, because I don't mind.
Tractor beam operator, you mean?
Yes, being the creative beam.
The bard.
Yeah, so that's fine.
At least one cow. Just that's all I'm asking. Just gotta get one
Yeah,
cow
you'd be in charge of tractor as well, which means you get to throw things around with our tractor beam.
That sounds fine.
I also imagine you'll probably control our like orbital laser and stuff, like when we were trying to do like mining, like you'd be the one mining stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Gotta open a cave.
Poking stuff.
Makes me the sensor analyst.
Space.
Bing, bang, boom.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So departments.
Yes. So there's the 3. So the character sheet's set up with communications, operations, and engineering as the 3 columns. As in terms of skills. And underneath those skills, you get to choose some of these sort of like stations that like, or like jobs that you had, like linguist, quartermaster, researcher, logistics officer, steward, etc. And then once you do that, I will describe what happens once we have sort of picked those and what expertise means versus trained.
Well, I got mine.
Yeah.
Adam and Ben, what are you thinking? I feel like I've talked a bit. So.
Yeah, but not here. You took last pick.
Yep.
I'm trying not to play the same kind of person I always do, though. So I'm like,
well, say what you're thinking, and then I'll tell you don't do that, and then you can do something else.
Playing a cleric, aren't you?
No, I'm Ranger Sorcerer. Anyways, well, I normally go for the Stranger Things, and the way I built my person was more of like a researcher to get them off planet, but they could really, the adaptability of them would be a few different things. Linguist, maybe.
Linguist was the one I was looking at.
So about that one.
I'm
Question.
thinking logistics, actually.
Yeah.
What is the interface like skill? Just out of curiosity.
So interface is this is a good point. Then maybe I should segue into this part. Interface isn't a skill; it's a category of skills. Kind of like how we were doing ships. Under interface, there is the comms, communications panels. There's network defense, and there's research.
I see.
So when you're have expertise, you have 3 dots in that. When you are trained, you are 2 dots in the family. And then I think they're just called like families of skills or specialties.
Sure.
There's specialties under the 3 categories. And there's specialties under interface, and then there's specialties under like economy, culture, interface, politic, and self-ontology all fall under the grand umbrella of communications. Does that make sense? It's sort of the hierarchy of skills and what that means.
Yep.
Cool.
If I'm an engineer, I'm also a navigator. If I'm the shield engineer, it seems like, because I'm trained in what's it called? Field dynamics.
Sounds excellent. I would take researcher if you wanted to take linguist, Gene.
Well, it's either linguist or I play a doctor in another life. I wouldn't mind playing a doctor, but I'll flip.
Well, you
really want to have
xenobiology, weren't you?
That's a really cool thing for a scout to have.
Yeah, that's why I kind of wanted to do researcher. You wanted linguist?
There is one thing that we usually want to occur here before you make your final choices.
Mm-hmm.
The person who's a captain, probably chosen by your patron, is usually someone with a comms department skill.
Not me.
Oh, but you're the.
Just saying.
Looks like me.
Do you want to be captain?
I would be a captain.
Okay.
The logistics officer should definitely be the captain.
Exactly. And for a corporate ship, I'm imagining he's very by the book, at least on the surface. So I'm imagining a sort of a dry person who a corporation would pick as a captain.
You scored mediocre on all the tests.
Exactly. No, just perfectly average on all the tests. And a high obedience score.
I think they took the same test, but I punched the instructor. So, you know.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not putting you in charge of people.
The test is designed specifically for obedience. You get an OQ.
Yes.
And you scored right in the middle.
That's right.
So, Adam, would you rather be a linguist or a researcher?
Oh, gosh. You're the worst.
That's the question you asked me. I ask it back.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm trying to avoid it. I feel a very obvious pilot researcher thing where he's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fly through the archives because I'm surfing the highway or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like the linguist would be a more interesting character. I'm just not sure if we have a long enough game to explore that.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip a coin and then I'll go with that one. You go that one.
Sounds great.
So I'm a linguist.
Done. I'm a researcher.
Okay. Excellent.
Easy.
Easy cheesy. When in doubt, let chaos rule.
That's right.
Okay. Okay, so we all have our 2 things?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. What's next? What do we do? Wartime faction?
Sorry. Yeah, so now that we have our 2 things, have we filled in what our expertise and trained are, as well as tool selections?
So that would be 3. That would be 3.
So your expertise, you mark 3 your expertise die, so you have 3 in it, and then you mark your trained category with 2. Right?
Wait, I'm trained in fitness, meaning I could do martial arts. Sure, okay.
Yeah.
So
right.
Where do we find what we're
It's
on
next
the following page. Yeah, there's so each category. So if you're doing communications departments or operations departments or engineering departments, each of those has 5 options with them, and each of those 5 options gives you the name, gives you the expertise skill or expertise specialty that you have, as well as a trained one. And so there's. Does that make sense?
So under skills in communications, I'm picking one that has 3 and one that has 2.
Yeah, expertise is 3 and then trained is 2.
It should automatically tell you what your expertise and trained are. Like, because
Where would I find that information?
You're linguistic, right? Or
okay, so in the book, then it's not on the character sheet. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Linguistic, your expertise is in culture. Your trained is in self-ontology.
Self-ontology.
Thank
you.
Yep.
And what was the other one? Your other station?
Sensor analyst.
Sensor analyst.
All right.
Your expertise is in perception. You're trained in the geosciences.
Okay.
Heck yes. All right. So remember, so here's a once you have marked your expertise and you're trained, you get some specialties, right? So for your train skill, you mark your train die, so you give it 2, right? And you get a specialty of choice. And that's if you already have that skill, then you choose a different specialty. Okay. And I think expertise you get 2 specialties.
Yeah, for expertise you get 2.
So I can put like for
the subcategory underneath culture.
Yeah, I could.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So expertise gets 2, train gets 1. Is
So
the easiest way of.
What's considered archaic technology?
Ooh.
I can answer this if you want.
Yeah, depends on how we want to interpret it. Yeah. What's up?
It's usually most of the stuff you'd have on Earth right now. So everything that isn't biotech, because biotech is biosciences, and everything that isn't like space-time stuff, isn't zero-point technology, is archaic technology.
Okay.
So if you find the internet or a car or something, that's archaic.
And then what would be? Oh, I can't get rid of a dot once I've clicked one. Oh no, there we go. I have to click the little bar.
line.
Yeah. And material sciences.
Materials like armor fixing or making a casing for something is material science.
I guess my question is again building a robot body for something, just so I know for which would that would be mechanics.
So building a robot, depending what it is, would probably be a drone. So you'd want to build a casing for the drone.
Okay.
And that would be material sciences. If you wanted to build a robotic limb for some reason, or make a door, or pick a lock, it's mechatronics.
I see. So I'll do 1 in mechanics, 1 in archaic technology, because obviously if we ever find like an old car, of course I'm going to rebuild it. That'll be rad.
Vehicle pilot then?
I mean, I don't have any pilot stuff. None of that. I don't care about driving the thing. I just want to build it.
You just want it to exist. That's fine. For expertise, can I put the 2 dice in the same thing, or do I have to split them up?
You can split them up.
You can.
Yeah,
put
but do
it
I have to?
No, you can put it in both if you want.
Oh god, I should know the different. Like,
So have we chosen them?
yeah, I'm just deciding between being expert, having a specialization in hacking or coding. I don't know the applications for them in terms of.
Right. So the so Christoph has done a really cool job breaking out the various functions of rather just being like, I'm a program skill. I can program everything.
Yeah.
Now it's completely different. Now it's like writing programs versus hacking and infiltrating. Like these are all various different things. They're different skill sets.
Mm.
So which ones do you want to know specifically? Again, one more time.
Hacking and coding. Tracing made sense.
Yeah.
I guess I just want to know the applications of both those.
So,
like,
so tracing is finding someone on the data flow. Like you can find their physical location by their tachyon emissions. That's tracing.
Sure.
Hacking is cracking through somebody's stuff to shut their stuff down or that sort of thing.
Sure.
And coding is making something.
Coding them.
Of any sort. Yeah. So if you want to make your robot brain or instance an AI, it's coding.
I will do mechanics, archaic technology, coding, shield mechanic, astronavigation, endurance. Endurance or strength? Thinking.
So it's 3 points for each communications and then 3 points for operations to put in the specialties?
No, you get 2 specialties for expertise skill and 1 for a trained skill.
Right. So when you right.
All right.
Based on your department, you get 1 expertise and 1 trained category.
Okay.
And underneath those categories, the expertise one gets 2 specialties. Those specialties fall under, what are we calling them specifically? Like culture, sophentology, economy, politic. What are they actually called? things you get expertise in.
Specialties?
Departments or
Skills.
specialties.
Yeah, so it goes department. That's the big column. Skills are the big things like culture and
Skills. Yeah, and then specialties.
Under that is specialties.
Got it. Okay. Yep.
All right. For some reason, my head just could not wrap around that very simple concept.
Right.
That's easy to understand. So,
Do you folks think we'll primarily be moving about in our Corvette, or am I going to have to deal with flying around launches and stuff?
I think
Probably
I'll stay in the
both.
Corvette, but we can do launches.
I would
Depends on how
like
dangerous
that.
things are. Yeah.
You do.
Now I can fly this thing anywhere. Yeah, we do have a launch, but I'm going to make one of them fly it.
What do you mean by a launch? Like a shuttle?
Yeah, there's a smaller ship that we have inside our
Okay.
larger ship.
Yeah, shuttle's actually a class of ship. A launch is like a weigh scale, so it's like a car, like 30 tons versus 200 tons. Kind of.
Sure. Cool. I've done the skill stuff.
I think I did too. I think I'm following. Pretty sure.
Okay.
I think I have my background too, but I'm a little ahead.
I'll have fun.
Did you choose tools for your expertise yet? Tool mods?
Yeah.
You get 2 tools per thing.
No, I think
you
you
get
get
3 mods within the listed tools.
yeah.
Plus
that makes
3
sense?
upgrades for your crew kit. I see. 3 mods. Okay. I guess I'll do that when everyone else does because I don't
Yep.
know where the mods are.
So, they're if you scroll on your character sheet, they're at the bottom or near the bottom. That's where you get link scanner and shield or all that kind of stuff. Reactor, kits. Those are sort of like your personal power devices and suits and how you route power.
I
around.
see.
And down around page 117 is the crew kit specific description.
Cool. Right.
So I get where.
Yeah. So since I'm a linguist, I can get link, scanner, or
Yeah.
shield.
In the interest of time, you could just
Yeah.
mark
Oh.
the things that you get, and
Yeah.
you could always just customize it later. Right?
Yep.
Cool. So like the next step. So if you, I think that's probably the best step right now because I don't want us to spend too much time.
Sure.
Sure.
So next up is the wartime history section here, and this is where we kind of start talking more about some factions and stuff and sort of what we were doing during our exploration wars. Should we? So we should take a moment here. Do we? Do you think we all work for the same faction, or were we in? Or did we work with rival factions? It's just are we just all part of our patron?
You mean during the war or currently?
The
I think this is for
in the
during the
past.
war, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is like in the past.
Oh, I fought for Soul. I don't care what anyone else is doing.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
lateral.
I feel like I knew Alice's engineer in the war, and I won't fly anybody else's ship because I don't know the weird stuff that they've done. But I know the weird stuff that she's done with this ship.
It's fair. I've done some weird stuff to the ship.
So, are we cool with we all fought for Soul in some
I
way
mean,
or another? No.
They're lateral.
Yeah.
I'm lateral,
Okay.
I think it would make
not soulborn.
sense that as like I kind of want to be whatever is the most boring. Like I know like this is like becoming a theme now, but like whatever the most like corporate gray suit could be. So if that was like, I'm almost leaning towards old gold, but I don't know if that's
Perhaps perhaps you worked for the CEB, like through the war doing something.
Well, I was thinking that his background as like a gunnery person was actually a soldier at some point, but just like a logistics one, not like somebody who was actually a fighter, just somebody who was sort of
You had a desk job.
moving points on a grid from point A to point B.
Research notes.
You know, like just like a white collar combat.
Right. So if do you and you, are you thinking about like was this Soul, lateral, or old gold that you were doing this for?
I think if we want to have as much like party unity as possible, it might make sense to be even. So like if there's going to be 4 of us, it might make sense for Gene and I to belong to the same faction if they're going to belong to the same faction.
2 laterals, 2 souls.
Yeah, so I feel like that probably is the most safe. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And we already talked about the laterals being very like bureaucratic.
Right. So that kind of makes sense too.
Yeah, that does. So here's a chance for you to come up with the subset. So it's not just it's not that you just work for the laterals. You work for a subset of the laterals, right? You work for a faction of the laterals, just the same way that the CEB is a faction under Sol. So here's a chance for us to kind of like brainstorm and come up with that faction's name and sort of their record. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. What if we were literally like worked in a records department? Just like nothing ever changed. Like the war affected what we were recording and the data we were filing, but it wasn't like a huge thing for us.
Yeah.
Part of the laterals is that they just hung back.
Some kind of like
archivists, analysts,
like analyst department.
Yeah. Archival analysts.
Hold on. Like analysts or like what's or analysts like ANN. Like how like esoteric history were you all, or is it like more logistical?
Maybe it's something like the final recording station for extant species. Like when something was like when a planet was about to be destroyed in the war, we had to like go there and start cataloging things. Just
that's amazing. That also makes sense the why you're a scout ship though, like part of a scout team, because like you have like familiarity with some of like broken records and like you would know like where things would be kept or not unkept in different places. Like that makes sense because you're not just exploring new things, you're rediscovering old things that may be lost in the war, right?
Yeah, we have to make sure that these things actually went extinct or they can't be in our records. So we have to go and if we ever find anything that we marked as extinct, we have to go and change the records, show that it's not extinct. I mean, does that sound
records
good to
for
you, Ben?
extinction.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, and it's like maybe we got fed up with staying in the office and wanted to actually go out into the galaxy to see it ourselves.
Like we'd see the samples that people brought in. We like rarely ever left. It's like you do an internship beforehand, but then you're stuck in an office for the next 7 years.
Right.
Do you guys want to think up a name now, or do you just want to come up with one a little bit later?
I think I'll just noodle on one if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, yeah, definitely you're working for like a records corp, a subset of the laterals responsible for dealing with extinction events and cataloging and historical recording. Yeah. Like that's super cool. Also, like it's like it's the right balance between like being totally like banal and totally exciting.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very boring, but we want to be exciting adventure.
And then we also, Adam and Alice have theirs, I think, or like some sort of like war subset, right? Like you actually were in the war.
My background?
Yeah, you fought for Sol.
Yeah, I was a grav technician. Like that was my like.
Oh, you've already went ahead. You've already went ahead.
Yeah.
And
well, so the reason I did was because it also implies that I was a part of the war as well. It's why I did that. So I went to look a little bit.
So we were part of the resistance.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. At least
like
I
actively.
Was. Like I was keeping our ships up.
Yeah. Like Alice absolutely served in the war. Under some sort of resistance group, which would be your faction.
Yeah, it's just the resistance as far as we're concerned. That's what I feel like for a wartime faction.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's still I don't know if we're still at war at the moment. Like there's not much like things to resist. I think it's they're trying to navigate not being a resistance anymore, right?
Well,
yeah, but this is the wartime faction.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
When you talk about it, it's like we were fighting resistance.
Yeah, you probably. So what's cool about this faction is that they don't exist in the same way they did during the war anymore.
Yep.
They did sign the Cardinal agreement, or they didn't, and they continue to operate doing like IRA terrorist like events.
Yeah, I mean, so it depends on how much control like is being exerted over us currently. So like, is what I meant.
Probably not a lot, but like, those flames don't die down though. Like you still hate the old gold.
Like somebody from Seoul signed the compact, right?
Yeah.
They didn't talk to the resistance about it, I don't think.
Right. Yeah. I know. I like that. Yeah. So yeah. So you guys work as an independent. Like you work as out of the charter, out of the accords comes the free spacers, which you are now all a part of. But that means in your past though, you belong to this resistance movement that now perhaps is negative.
Yeah.
Are we cool?
Like maybe they're still doing like essentially terrorist shit.
Yeah.
Like that's.
There's certainly people that do bad things.
You are a robot.
In the name of
Robot.
Adam, you are a robot. Yeah.
My internet connection
Very
is
good.
unstable.
Yeah.
There are certainly people that do bad things in the name of the resistance.
Yes. Yes.
But we do not consider them,
I mean, you might not consider them. Depends, right? Like,
part of what this is that you have an association with them, and because of that, you have a one die association with them, which could help you with certain roles and explanations. So like that's the fact that it's kind of complicated and nebulous makes a really cool like creative space for when you invoke that. So I'm totally cool with it. Like. We can come up if you want to come up with a cool name of like the group that you actually fought with or not, or like did you fight on a ship? Like were you part of like a brigandine, or like were you part of a
I was a ship technician.
Yeah, so
like I was aboard frontline vessels and stuff.
Right.
Like it wasn't like sit back and do the engineer thing. I was like engineering on frontline stuff essentially.
Right. So like you could have so like maybe if you wanted to, you could make your faction more specifically like people around this like big ship that you fought under. Right, or maybe it's or it's more broad, like it's totally.
You could determine whether or not it's like this wartime faction is this specific crew I worked with, all rather than the entirety of that faction.
Right, like you worked with did you work for the fleet and you were like a mechanic in the fleet?
Yeah, I think it was like maybe not necessarily a fleet, but a specific like cell. Essentially, calling it a fleet makes it seem much more organized than I figured.
Which is probably what they called it, but it wasn't. Yeah, totally. But you were still, responsible.
Like, that's sort of how I'm picturing it. Anyways.
Sure, you're part of the resistance fleet. Cool. That's awesome.
Air quotes.
Yeah. Awesome. And you already picked a background. Have the rest of us have looked at the background?
Yep.
Options.
Cool. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, options come with skill packages and tool selections. They give you a train die in things as well as a specialty.
Let me read something very quickly.
So
Background.
The train die gives you that one specialty.
A package of skills and corresponding specialties plus a crew kit mod K.
Yep, and then as well as tool selection stuff.
Let me
one tool mod.
I think my person's probably a scholar. Or scientist. Scientist. They studied to be a scientist. They ended up being a scholar. The department skill? What? We apparently forgot a department skill.
From when you guys chose your stations, whatever the department the station was in, you also got a department skill, which is a trained skill with one specialty in that department. So if it's a comms department, you get one comms skill of choice. If it's an engineering department, you get one engineering.
So I get all my stuff is crossing over because both of mine are mechanic ones and my grav tech is also a mechanic thing. So
that's going to happen. So what happens is if you spend too many, if your skills start crossing over, you just don't get extra skills, but at the end you basically get free skills to choose. You just take the specialties just like you just filled that skill.
Okay.
You never move it up to 3. That's only for expertise.
Okay. So let me see real quick. So with the skill package, we choose one of these to be trained in or expertised in, just so I know. Or like for the skill packages for the background.
Yeah, you only ever have 2 expertise on your character. You can never
Okay.
have more than that ever.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
those 2 come from your stations. If you change those via like upgrading, you're just basically swiping and changing from being a pilot to being a
Yeah.
recon or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't all of a sudden get new expertise.
In that case, I will take that 2 impulse projection. And I mean, I guess were you the one that's operating the, do you have tractor mechanics? Is that a thing you have?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I mean, what's the difference? Away weaponry? And
It would be really
A
funny.
weaponry is like your personal weapon.
I mean, I'll take that trained in then. Like, I mean, I actually already have. I do have a gun. Like, it's a thing I own. So
I just keep thinking, like, Ben, it would be really funny if you were a leader and you were like, I was actually a governor of a planet.
Oh no, I picked leader actually as my background
Oh
because
my
I'm
God,
thinking
yes.
I was the head of this department,
Yeah.
obviously, and which then became defunct. And so he's like, "Well, I don't have a job anymore, so I go out here."
We became redundant.
Now you
Yeah.
operate. Now I operate a tractor beam.
That's right.
so like, it's interesting because I'm a mechanic, but it's turning out to I'm also like our fucking like only person that could function in a combat setting. It feels like because like the multi-tool I took charged.
I know how to shoot my gun.
I took charged pulse, which I think is a gun, right? Like that's like on the multi-tool.
That increases your damage.
Yeah.
Your damage. If you want to shoot somebody better, you can choose one of the 2 targeting choice. The disruptor targeting.
Yeah. What would utility manipulator do then?
Cuts doors, solders things.
Cool. We will do disruptor targeter and multi-tool then. But like I have a point in away weaponry. Like I could shoot a person. That's scary.
Yeah.
I do too. So you're not the only person. Who
That's
can
fair.
shoot.
It's fair.
You do get some free points coming up, so you can all shoot people if you want. You can also stab people and punch people. Those are
so much.
Have no fear.
So much.
So did I hear a minute ago that not only do we get our kind of skill package for our 2 stations, but we also get a department skill and specialty for those things?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what type of stations do you have again?
So I have interface in comms and I have pilot in ops.
So you get 1 ops skill of any one of your choice and 1 comm skill of any of your choice. You can take sophentology or culture or whatever.
All right.
To give you an idea, like by the end of this, you're gonna have like 20 specialties or something like that. Like you're gonna have a lot of stuff.
Does anyone here have medicine?
Crickets.
Cool.
I have biomechanics.
I grabbed medicine.
I can tell you how you work.
Remember, so like we have to do some other stuff for this like species stuff and that as well as like recruitment and our drive, and then we go to special training, which gives us that's the free range where you can pick up stuff. So like asking if we have something and anything like that like that's a good time to ask when we're doing the free selection of things.
Okay. I have every single engineering skill with at least a training in. I have 1 floating from the other thing, and I guess I'll get 3 points from that later.
That's amazing.
I'm the engineeriest engineer that has ever engineered.
I think we all have backgrounds. So now the next step is species.
It's going to end up being human.
Yeah. So humans are already fleshed out in the game here with concepts, heritage, appearances, and traits. But we're gonna have to work together for some other ones. I know we want to have a Nautilai.
Yeah.
An
Octoli.
I'm debating whether or not I want to be human or someone that was just born and raised in the Soul right. Alliance.
Which is that's totally possible, right? Like not every human, like not every person in the Soul system is a human, right?
Hmm.
Other than the lizard people and the humans, are there any other fleshed out species?
No, but we have to make them up.
Are there mostly mechanical people, like brain in a jar people?
Oh, no, I think there's lizard people, that are also an example on page 32.
Yeah.
No, I saw those. I just meant to Christoph or in general to our group as a setting. Would a brain in a jar species, so they have like a 99% cyborg body, be outside of the realm of cool, or is that cool?
A brain in a jar as the department head is just so happy to me.
Yeah.
I'm going for on the nose. What can I say? On the
Uh,
lack of nose. How about that?
I mean, I think I'm looking at the Adelaide, and I kind of like them. Aside from the matriarchal bit, but I can fuck with that. No, matriarchal's fine.
There's also the Gavorn, which is as an example in the species section way down the book. And they're basically 6-limbed alien gray mushroom carnivore people. So
yeah, I think I'm going to do Adelaide, actually. Just be a real tall, badass lizard.
proc engineer.
I'm picturing more like snake than crocodile.
Sure.
But
with me.
yeah.
Okay.
Christoph, I can't find that Gavorn. Is it GVORN?
Limbs. Oh, I guess 5 because tail. Interesting. I didn't think about that.
yeah, the Gavorn is down in the species section on page something.
147, 148. Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
All right. So
145 starts it. That's
All
how
right.
you make a new species, and you'd get together with Eric and do this.
Yeah. So do you want to do our species now, or should we? I think we should probably finish the classification of our skills tonight. Because the species stuff is a lot of it's mostly ephemeral. Stands for the traits of a species.
Sure.
Sure. So species aside, we have to come up with like the languages of our characters, right? And that's based on where you're kind of from in terms of the relation of the entire quadrants and stuff. Because different quadrants have different things. So Orion, like, so there, for example, like interchat is one that kind of everybody has. But let me go up to during creation, there's a couple that you have to choose from based on where we're from. So for example, your laterals, and I know laterals would have a separate language. Laterals are Athenium. The prevalent language for Atheniums are the Blacks language.
Okay.
Nobilius principally speak Inax, which is different. And then Orion is kind of interchat is kind of the prevalent language, which is basically just online memes.
Yeah, we all speak interchat, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go to creation. Christoph reminds us we get one from our patron, which I guess would probably a special language. Do you think they speak something like Mandarin or English or like Arabic or?
That's where you get your interchat from. And then you
okay.
get one for your species, and that can be a special, that's a sectoral language. And then you also get one for your wartime faction, and that can be either, I think, a prevalent language, one of the four, or a sectoral language. And then later, if you took linguistics, you'll also get one language for each point in linguistics. And if you didn't make up the languages, you can just fill in the points and take them as on the fly.
Okay. Yeah. That's a lot of
I
languages.
I haven't named my character, but I have named my pan. So
what is your pan?
Quinn. Her name's Quinn.
Nice.
Okay, so one of the things that is kind of usually done, it's usually specified, is that the ship network is like hidden behind your network, so yours is an instance of that. So you can decide that yours is different, or you can just be the one making up the pan, and everybody also has to deal with Quinn.
I mean, I'm cool with either. I'm the engineer, so I'm like and slash like also like I fuck with coding and stuff too. So I'm cool being like the techie and having Quinn be like my like is the person I like. I don't. Are they like an AI? So like explain it a little bit.
They're like if in Mass Effect it would be a VI.
Ah, okay. That makes more sense. I'm cool with it being Quinn then, like an AI I have like a VI rather I have created over the years, and is just the one I updated to the ship because I always fly with Quinn.
Yeah, it's like the OS of the ship, and everything's OS is an AI, but the basic Sapien OI or Sapien AI is another one of the impossible things. So is androids and cybernetics and stuff. It's
Sure.
just things you can bring into your setting if you want, but it should always be kind of extraordinary.
So is everyone cool dealing with Quinn, or is she an instance?
Cool with me.
I'm cool with it.
So Quinn is the ship,
Yeah, it's
and then the instances have their own names.
You can name them if you want.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Well, I'm good.
Well, this makes a lot of fictional sense because you're the one who keeps the ship running. So of course your take on like the ship is sort of like.
Yeah, you got there first, and you changed the name.
Oh yeah,
like,
no,
its name's Quinn.
I literally wiped whatever the VI was already installed and uploaded my own that I brought with me.
Yeah, like that makes a lot of sense.
I can't deal with the like instant stuff. I need the entire ship functioning the way I need it to.
Yeah.
And my instance just looks like a little coral reef with like little holographic fish floating around it.
Brings up little windows for you.
Yeah.
All right, where are we? Are doing okay.
Very exciting.
Our species discussion, Dazer, you and I will have later.
Yeah, we're gonna have it later.
So then, I think have you guys figured out how you're gonna distribute your free points after languages?
How many points do you have?
So here's the thing. They come in differently. Like you get a couple of different sets for special training. So what happens is I think you get like 12 to spend for free.
The first thing we might want to do is just do the review section on page 34.
Yeah, you should have 2 expertise, 9 trained, and 11 specialty as a kind of quick check.
One. So.
And not if you've done all special training already.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then once you do that, then you get your electives, and then you get your specializations. So it breaks it down, so you don't like go, then you can know how much you screwed up.
It was 2 expertise.
9 trained skills and 11 specialty dice at this point.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So 2 expertise.
I'm missing that one train die for that one specialty die because I don't have another engineering thing to take. So I don't know what to do with that yet. But that's it.
You get it as part of your electives.
Okay.
Actually, I think you get to assign it now.
Just whatever.
That's going to be the next step. So just assign it to whatever. Yeah.
Cool.
All
right.
I have to write them down. I keep misremembering numbers.
2 expertise, 9 trained, 11 specialty. I'll write it in roll 22. I gotcha.
There you go. Okay. Thanks.
Oops. Okay, the 2 got cut off. So that's not helpful. There you
2
go.
expertise skills. Okay.
Yeah. Expertise, remember, are the 3 dots?
Yeah.
From there. So you get 2 from there.
Culture and perception.
Yep.
And then 9 trained skills. 1, 2. I have 7 with 2 points in the 3 block, right?
And 2 points. The rest of that is specialty skills. Remember, so like skills are different than specialties.
Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Looking at your character sheet.
10, 11. I think I don't have enough trained
Perception.
skills.
You have
I'm missing-
perception and culture. Then you should have 9 trained skills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're missing
Yeah.
2.
I'm counting 9. It includes the expertise.
Oh, okay. All right. That's where.
Oh,
okay,
that
then it's
is.
9. Yeah, because I
Okay.
was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, then I'm good. All right,
Never
good.
mind.
That's
Yeah.
where my confusion
I
was.
am missing 2 from somewhere. I counting expertise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Then Adazer, you are good.
I'm good. All right. Because you kept saying 9, and I was like, what have I done?
Association language, correspond background. Oh, I think how many things do you get from background? Do you get all of those? Or just the one, like, do you just pick one?
Related to what? The skill package?
Yeah.
I think you get the whole package. Wait
Okay.
on.
That's what I put down.
For each skill in the package, mark a train die and a specialty in that skill.
For each skill, okay. All right. I read that weirdly.
Yeah,
But
you might have
I-
only picked one, and that's why you're too short.
It's the reason it is because I already had 2 of them, so I didn't know what to do
Right.
with those yet.
Oh yeah, so
Right.
so they're free. They're basically free picks.
So I'll grab pilot with archaic vehicle because of course.
You ride a motorcycle.
And I will. Fucking right.
Mhm.
And I'll also take athletics with like melee because I'm gonna claw someone if I have to.
yeah.
Melee is actually using your multi-tools like a sword or a sword.
Sure.
And martial arts is your clawing. So
I already have
And-
multi-tool stuff. So.
Ben and Adam, how are you guys doing?
I am the best pilot ever.
I think I'm good. I'm picking my last specialty die right now.
Oh, awesome. And I was going to ask, yeah, so then we should be picking our specialty dice now, which is after so once we have done the review now, we have our 2 expertise, 9 trained, and 11 specialty. Then we're going to pick some electives when we're ready.
Sure.
And then lastly, we're going to pick some specializations, okay?
Okay.
So when you pick electives, we're picking skills. And remember, skills are not specializations. These are the skills to be trained in, okay? Elective skills represent your personal interests and choices you made in special training to become... This is about becoming a free spacer, right? This is what makes you exceptional more than other people. So you were given some trainings and some electives here. So this is what you're doing in special training. You're choosing 3 skills to be trained in for a total of 12 trained skills total, including your expertise, right? So...
Okay.
So, in other words, 2 expertise and then 10 trained.
All right. In that case, I'll grab.
For a total of 12.
I'll grab geosciences
9 trained.
and mining.
I can do math.
Oh, you do not get the specialties with these automatically. The specialty part's next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you get a much bigger pile of specialties. So
Yeah.
So we're picking 3 skills.
when
Be trained
counting, you will only have 3 not trained skills
Okay.
on the
All
entire
right.
sheet.
hmm Yeah, that's
So
the easiest way
choose
of
your
putting it.
3 dump stats and just don't put stuff in those.
Okay.
Yep.
Dump
and,
stats, that's the phrase I understand.
and then the rest is the skill specializations, right? And this is the stuff that goes underneath those. The specialties of all your trained skills.
10, 11. Okay, so I will still be trained in geosciences, and I guess I honestly don't have a freaking clue.
Yeah. Training as
Alertness,
training as a free spacer gives
Or
you
not
9
awareness.
additional specialties.
perception rather.
So we have 9 additional specialties on top of the original 11 that we had.
Yeah. So you should have a total of 20.
20 total. Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
And the limits, there's no rule against maxing some out to 3, right? It's not like they
You can do
cost mentally.
I've got 6 dice in pilot, man.
So say the thing about specialties again just now.
Specialties?
You said they had like you're supposed to have 20 now.
yes, under specialties, you will at the end of character creation, you should have 20 specialties selected.
Okay.
You're gaining at this point of the process, if you haven't figured in your additional specialties from your special training as a free spacer, this is the time you add them. You should have 9 to spend, bringing your total to 20.
1, 2, 3.
I know it's a lot, so like I appreciate that question. I know we're also over time, so like that's why I wanna.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And
Yeah,
9.
I'm pushing 20 hours of wakefulness right now, so forgive me if I'm a little slow.
I have insomnia. I feel your pain.
Wow. Yeah. I know this was a lot, and maybe it was audacious of me to think we could do this in 3 hours of just the creation.
It is okay.
We were chatting. It's cool.
Yeah.
So special training, 9, 11 special dice. Until you have 9 electives. Elective train skills for a total of 12 strain. Okay,
Alice, you have 11 specialties, just as you should.
Yeah.
You're getting 9 new ones right now that you can put into anything you want.
Okay.
Okay. I think I did it.
That's so many.
You won't say that when you start rolling dice.
It's gonna feel like it's too few. Trust me. All right, for everyone else who's done that step, we're going to be going into standardizing our tools, and this is the part where you should have a total of 10 upgrades to your personal crew kit. I think you get like 7 right now to sort of play with. Is that right, Christoph? At this point? Or is it 7 accrued over all of the other specialties?
Yeah, sorry. I keep muting. Okay, so you have 7 new ones you just got, plus the 3 you automatically get in reactor capacity.
1, 2.
So that comes to 10.
6, 7.
Armor slots are also something you can get in your EVA suit there.
13, 14,
And then what you're going to do is add another 5 to 15.
Right.
So we're putting
those
15 points in crew kits.
You have a total of 15 after
Total
the
of 15.
distribution thing we're doing.
So think of it.
You should have 10 now.
So in other words, you're like following our like life paths of like all of our departments, what we did before the war and everything. That gives you 10. But now that you are a free spacer, you've also been around and you kind of modded your kit to help you out the way you want. So that gives you an additional 5 points of flexibility to sort of let you customize your kit, your mods to your kit in a way that you best see fit. As always, like if you're not like I'm totally cool with you guys moving them around, especially at the start, being like that's if you rather just put like, hey, cool, I have 5 free spots right now or free slots right now, and deciding them later, that's also cool.
Alice.
Yes.
I've noticed that is a little bit of a problem. You don't have to fill in the type of armor you have. That's something you get to choose on the fly. And you don't, and the little armor symbol at the end, that's actually when you're damaged.
I was just clicking that a bunch because it just felt good. Please ignore me.
No worries.
The reason I was picking that thing is because I had an Ava suit upgrade. I didn't see where to upgrade that. Like I didn't see what the options were there because it looks different than any of the others.
Okay, so that is the sheet of little dots next to it.
Sure.
Next to the fields. There's 2 that are already filled in for you, and there's 2 that aren't.
Yeah.
Outer shell is like hard stuff like pressure and combat kind of goes in there. You'll see what the pull down will reveal.
Yeah, combat armor, caustic coating. Yeah.
So if that's the sort of thing you'd want, you would upgrade that. And if you want to upgrade the inner shell, which would give you the other stuff like
pathogen filter and things like
radiation and stuff.
Well,
then you take that. So just fill in the little black one. A little more obvious on the home sheet.
So the little black ones are the ones we automatically have?
And that you can upgrade yourself.
Okay.
I automatically have pressure shell because of my race. So that's
yeah, don't put that in there. That's actually a survival trait.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can add it for you. Just one sec there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There.
That is one of the cool traits you get as a Tolly.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank
you don't have to fill these in because you will get these. You actually buy these with supply during play.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So the
There-
armor is like ablative.
I guess I just wanted to add the. I guess I'll just click that and remember that I have an additional one there.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So part of the
Um,
15 points that we have, sorry, part of the 5 extra points we have, we can buy things in the EVA suit.
Yes, there are 2 free slots that you haven't upgraded. If you want to upgrade your EVA set all the way, you would send 2 points of that in there and have a new inner gel armor and a new outer shell armor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we could also use one of the 5 points to raise our capacity for our
Reactor.
power supply reactor.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Which is
You
good.
get charged, by the way, by rolling crits.
Crits.
And doing desperate actions, and a big thing at the beginning of every session. You're going
Desperate actions, you say?
Yeah.
Something I know.
So yeah, so this is having that extra supply is good. Typically.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
It's kind of Alice. In another way to think of it, it's almost kind of like a gambit kind of thing as terms
Sure.
of currency.
That helps.
To think of it like you boost it to activate this extra dice pool of your battery. Which you have a chance to, if you crit on the roll, then you get it back or even extra.
Sure. I think I'm done with all my specialization stuff.
Yay.
And potency for under medical is for when you heal someone or do something like that. It's like the damage potency thing for the charge pulse multi-tool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it allows you to heal more, which is sometimes appropriate. Also allows you to like attack like a virus with do more damage, or
Okay. Right.
some weird alien, or poison people
Okay.
better, or something.
Neat.
So- Are we cool with tools?
I'm not. I just got there, but sorry.
I have one more to decide.
Okay.
Uh,
Adam and Ben, have you moved on to a contact? You're muted, Ben.
Just about to, yeah.
You're muted.
Sorry. I'm almost done with tools, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, we can move on.
Yep. Okay. Well, the next step is making a contact. Everyone has at least one contact. Record that contact as the name, the faction, and how you know them. So remember, so if they are a like species, right? You could if you're same species, you could improve your faction relation with the species, or if they are a collection, or an organization faction, you can improve them as well, or take a new one. And we decided on Ben's gunner being the captain.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only one with a comms department.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, I have a comms, but I mean,
I
Cam
have
first.
I have one,
Right.
but yeah.
I have all of them, and then politic is expertise.
Yeah, because then you
Nice.
get a special thing, Ben, as the captain.
Ooh.
You're responsible for talking to your patron and handling the debt. It's not actually like a good thing.
Dang it.
It's just
Reverse
responsibility.
woo.
It's like we
It's-
got something special for you, and they just drop a bunch of paperwork
Yeah,
down in your
responsibility. Being a space adult.
He likes that.
15.
Okay. So the person that we're adding, it's the name, the type, and then something else. What's the Mad Lib situation with
Yep.
that?
So a name, a faction, and how you know them, how you're associated with them.
Okay.
And then once you do that, you increase the association value with who they belong to, with their faction to 2. So, for example, a faction could be a human species, right? They're just a human,
Okay. So
Which
you
or,
can
or
only-
not.
I'm seeing. Oh, sorry.
You can only have the species that's your species.
Yeah,
Okay, because I was only seeing 3 blanks, and I was like, something business,
one of
something.
this is
I am
Yeah.
at contacts now.
a.
So basically, make up a person, choose how you know them, like business, whatever,
Cool.
and then a faction that they're in. And as long as you have at least one contact and you'll gain them during play, you're that association of E2. If that contact's really important to like the story and the stuff that's going on and
Mhm.
and their faction, then you can have association of 3. That's the only way to get it. And associations are like social tools.
Cool.
Okay.
I mean, I think I'm just gonna make like the captain of the ship I used to work on, like back during the war.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Where do I add this person?
Down at the bottom next to
Contacts.
Yeah. And I know John Paul from the 376th. He was another person in the Resistance, and they started a biker gang as kind of a retiree thing, and he wants me to stop working.
Rather than a captain, I think I'm going to do like a fellow engineer from the Resistance and just be like, this person I would talk shop.
Totally.
Why do I want to call them Siegfried? Why do I want to call them that?
Take it.
Better than Roy.
Too soon.
Who's Roy?
Obviously not too soon. Right there.
Sorry. I don't know what you're talking
I don't know what you're talking about either.
Siegfried Roy?
Siegfried and Roy
okay.
were a
Oh.
magician
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
or entertainer duo, I guess.
it's getting late.
Yeah.
I
is.
am aware that those people exist. That's
Well, one of them does, at least.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
So Ben, after the contact part, then you have the patron commissionaire. I can say words. Commissionaire as a contact for you, and the patron faction. So the CEB is set to 2 with that. So
Where
that's
would I
kinda
put that? I'm in the
associations.
contact section.
Yeah, contacts. Association.
Associations. Okay.
Yep. So this is literally your handler, right? The person who's overworked and you're one of hundreds that they work for, or that you are under. The impersonal person.
Yes. When I click on the drop down, do I click faction, or what am I putting
Yeah,
here?
the faction there is CEB. That is our patron.
It's just a drop down. It's not a field, unless I'm in the wrong area. Under association, social connections.
You should be able to add, and then the first
I clicked
box.
add. Yep.
And in the first box, you should be able to write in, and the second box is faction. Yeah.
I can't. It doesn't let.
So
I can write in the first box. I can say CEB handler.
Ben, I just did it for you.
Oh.
Do you not see that?
Hugh did it for me.
Oh, I did it for Adam. Sorry.
No,
I am
wait.
the
You have
captain now.
you have social connection CEB handler. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I
And
just
then-
typed that in right now.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
I'm saying in the right hand box, the drop down, I just click faction.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's
That's what I was
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's a patron faction, so it's a faction, and that's set to 2 instead of 1.
Got it.
Cool. And then the next after that is debt shares. Each crew member begins with debt to your patron. Together, you have 20 debt, and then an additional 3 for the launch. These are divided equally, and any the odd number goes to the captain.
So I would have 5.
Were we just making a social connection or a contact? Because I made a contact. We're supposed to be making a social connection.
No. We're talking about the captain.
Okay,
The captain
alright,
has a
just make
special
it-
thing.
okay.
That's a really good question.
But also, you should have a social connection associated with your contacts. Your contact is part of a faction that is also a social connection.
So I should move my contact, also put them in social connection?
No.
Okay, so here it is.
Okay.
So you make up a person,
Yes.
and that person, every person, technically belongs to a faction.
Okay.
Possible not to.
Sure.
So whatever faction they belong to, or their species, if it's the same as yours,
Okay.
you will increase that faction to 2. So if it's an entirely new faction that you don't know, then you would get that one at 2, which is totally min-maxing the game, but that's fine because you're going to get these quite a bit. Every time you meet a new faction, you automatically get 1 die with them at the next section. So when you get a contact, so who's your contact?
Eden Jenkins.
And who's their faction?
Mine. My faction.
It's the same as the
Laterals.
archives or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we did improv together.
Okay, so that means your archive group goes up to 2.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So extant archivist goes up to 2 because that's my faction.
Because that's the faction that you have a contact with.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So this nice writing about old friend and stuff,
Yeah.
I do need to add another field for stuff like that, but that should actually be extant archives.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. I'll just put a dash. I'm just putting
And
improv.
tell me we are within a few minutes of being done, or I will lose all power and network.
Yeah. We are.
Okay.
You're the best. Don't lie to me.
No. So have we done debt? We're going to do debt shares, which is sort of like how we're gonna. It's sort of like the currency for how to remove, the debt running part of this game.
Yeah,
So-
I can give you the shorthand for that. Everybody write down 6 in their debt share,
Okay.
Captain.
except the captain.
That's 9.
He's
How much do
getting-
I have? 9.
Where's debt share?
The very, very bottom.
And what do we put in the total debt?
Oh, I see. 20. It should be. I think it
So
should.
we put 20
It-
in
it
debt
has-
and then 6 in shares.
No. In debt, put 6.
Okay,
Ignore
'cause-
shares.
Because you were saying put 6 in debt shares, and I was like, that's 2
Oh,
different
yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
things.
Put
Okay.
6 in debt
Okay.
and ignore the shares. You're going to
Okay.
get those later. That's how you get out of debt. Your
Okay.
shares have to be greater than your debt. And then
Alright.
you can retire well. If you retire before that, you're retiring in abject poverty.
Oh no.
Got it.
Dream.
Sounds familiar.
Ugh.
You are contractors in space.
Okay.
God damn
Yeah,
it!
freelance life.
God damn it! Too real.
And I'm actually good with tractors, so I'm a tractor contractor in space.
Well,
That's the best time to close it out.
Yeah. God. All right.
I need to think of a name later. Other than that, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna wake up from a dead sleep later because of that.
You're welcome.
All right. The only other things besides species are all of our descriptives of this. They come into kind of like 7 facets. Characteristics, physical characteristics, gender identity, if that is a thing, attitude.
Yeah, gender identity can be changed to pronouns and let you kind of fill in what you want because it makes more sense to most people.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's way
I already
better.
did that, but that's awesome.
Let's see. There's attitude, personality, manner of speech, your sense of style, then your ship suit, and then your pan, right? So your ship suit is what you wear day to day. Is it uniform or is it unique? Then your pan is your personal area network. That's the thing that interfaces with the AI that interfaces with Quinn. That could either be sort of like, it could be just an avatar that looks like you. It could be something else, right? It's sort of like just a augmented reality or alternate reality.
We could also use
Kinda
it to
interface.
augment ourselves. Apparently,
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
make
so
it.
what it does is you project holograms and stuff with that. So
That's real cool.
Yeah, so you can make yourself look like how you want.
Yeah. All right. So, and in this thing for characteristics, which part of characteristics are we going on? Because I just Googled or not Googled, Control F the word characteristics.
that is based on
Age.
your species. Once you have a
Yeah.
species, then you should fill that out. Wait till you
Yeah.
have a species.
Yeah, you're good. We can work together.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But
Yeah.
species
think we're-
all
things.
All right. Other than that, though, I think we're pretty much done. And I know Adam needs to get going.
okay.
Well, I've got 8% battery, man.
Yeah.
Man, you're working so hard to play this game.
You need to roll a crit. get more charge.
I
This goes
will.
up by 10%.
I will be plugged in the next time and not assume that it's only going to be until 9:00.
Well, the actual game will be for the first session will be
6:30 to 9:30.
Prep is long and more encompassing.
9:30
get
the
it.
next morning.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You folks are the best. See you next week.
Yes.
Thanks, Adam.
Bye.
Rockin'.
Angry lizard girl.
Oh, you're a lizard. I missed that. That's
Mhm.
exciting.
I just want the default like alien race that they gave because it's neat, and I was already thinking about playing a lizard, so worked out.
Yeah.
Snake, but whatever.
And
Sorry, I keep interrupting people. We're all too tired. That's why I put those ones in there. I just put in like one kind of weird species, and then one that people always come up with is a lizard species. So
Lizards are rad.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a lizard, Ben.
Yeah, creating your species begins on page 144.
Yeah.
So we can. I have no problem going over this with you.
Did you want to do that tonight? I don't know how tired you are.
No, I couldn't. I can't do it
tomorrow?
tonight. I can't do
Okay,
it
yeah, that's what I
tomorrow.
kind of
Much
figured.
better.
I was like, just making
Yeah.
sure. Your plan is
Cool.
the same as mine.
I will mess with the rest of the description stuff
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. We have a week.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's like we have a week till we begin. We have like the majority of everything done. We have a couple other like ship things. I think we went over like both species was a thing. I don't know, just languages, launch, and then and that kind of stuff. And I have to do a lot as far as developing the system.
Can I roll something just to see what it looks like? Is that a thing I can do real quick?
Can you roll?
Yeah, I just want
Yeah.
to.
Whole thing.
Totally.
I don't know. I just want to. Cool. Okay. I just wanted to see what that looked like. Shadowrun flashbacks. Got it. This isn't bad. I fucking love Shadowrun, but I was just.
Okay.
Hmm.
I think
Apparently, I'm the best at role playing games.
Yep, you're the best. It's determined.
we're good to go then tonight,
Yeah.
I think so.
which is
And
good.
then we'll talk about when to meet up for species stuff.
Yeah. And then our very first game, which you guys, if you're watching this video, you have already probably seen.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
If not,
it'll
go
be
watch
this
it.
Thursday. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right then, everybody. Thank you so much. Christoph, thank you. Disembodied voice. Disembodied guiding voice. You are AI. You're our stream's AI.
I am Quinn. Online.
Awesome. All right. So we're gonna get out of here. Just quick introduce
Exodus?
Exodus.
Outros.
Yeah. Outros. Just say
There we
outros.
go.
Why do I try to be fancy? I'm too tired.
Reverse.
That's why.
Alice, Ben, then Ed Dazer.
Oh, okay, cool. Hi, I got called on. I'm Alice, also known as Halfcat, or on the interwebs. I like I said at the beginning, making a game called Kiss Before the World Ends, which is about like relationships at the end of your world, and self-care and things like that. So that's that. Also stream over on twitch.tv/Halfcat, and I'm doing a Bandit Blades game over on Ashton McCowan's channel, which is a CGIAC, ACEGIAK. Boom. And then that's me.
Ben Dutter, Google it. All I gotta say.
Damn. Fuck.
Gina Dazer,
Ow.
twitch.tv/theposhpanda, where I stream doing arts. And if you want to see where all those arts go and learn more about them, I'm at Patreon, Gene_Dazer, and I do magical items. I do character icons, do packs a month. I'm doing a magical fantasy cookbook, and I also design mini guns. So, a lot of stuff. I'm list it out. It's very exciting. Well done.
Yeah, and I'm Eric. I'm EricVulgaris everywhere, and you're probably watching this because you know who I am. Or not. This is on the Kickstarter stuff, so do it. Free Spacer. It's on Kickstarter right now. Do it. Do
Get
it.
play
Do it.
Fund it. Back
All
it.
right, it's Free Spacer. It's a sandbox tabletop RPG in space. That's
Get it.
awesome.
Thanks,
it.
Christoph.
Yeah, thanks, Christoph.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.